Chapter 68, Southern Sky City. Chapter 68, Southern Sky City. Time passed by quickly as Li Lingtian cultivated on Tianyu Peak. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. In just 1 month, he was a Tier 8 warrior spirit at the peak of perfection and was only one step away from Tier 9. Shweta had been at Tianyu Peak for some time now. With the rich spirit Qi and Li Lingtian's elixirs, he was now a Tier 8 peak warrior. A day ago, Li Lingtian received a voice transmission from the sect. It was said that Sky Dragon Empire's once-in-a-decade prodigy role competition would be held in 3 months. As Sky Cloud Sect's genius disciple, Li Lingtian had also become one of the 10 spots in Sky Cloud Sect. This time, although only Sky Dragon Empire was participating in the competition, the 4 major sects, the 10 great clans, and some other forces of varying sizes were all given spots. Moreover, this competition was even more powerful than the geniuses who entered Hidden Dragon Island. That was because the prodigy role referred to martial artists below the age of 50. As long as they were geniuses, they were all martial kings. There were even super geniuses below the age of 30. Li Lingtian was not interested in the news. However, he received a message from the sect disciples that the competition had another purpose, which was to select a prince consort for the eldest princess, Nangong Mingyue. A faint smile appeared on Li Lingtian's face. In the past, Li Lingtian had pursued Nangong Mingyue but was rejected. He understood that his soul in this life belonged to one person. Since he, Li Lingtian, and the Saint Lord of Jiuyang were one person, Li Lingtian and the Saint Lord of Jiuyang's matters were his. This woman looked down on him in front of him. Now, he could play with her and see who was the genius. It's time to go out for a walk. I'm still lacking some pill formulas. Li Lingtian looked at Tianyu Peak. After giving some pills to Shweta, he packed up briefly and left Tianyu Peak with Little White and the multicolored beast before dashing out of Sky Cloud Sect. Originally, he was from Sky Cloud Sect. With his status, it was not a problem for him to get 1 or 2 pill formulas. However, he did not want Sky Cloud Sect to let him know how to refine pills. Moreover, men had ambitions. They had been in this world for more than a year. Even if they went to Hidden Dragon Island, they would still be in the wilderness and mountains. They had never really come into contact with this world. Since there was still a month left, he could go out and take a look. The Southern Sky City is indeed powerful. In 3 days, Li Lingtian sprinted all the way to the Southern Sky City, which was the closest to Sky Cloud Sect. He felt refreshed as he looked at the huge city. This city was many times larger than the cities in his previous life. The Southern Sky Great City had a radius of 1,000 kilometers. Outside the city, there were roads everywhere, or barren mountains and wild mountains, where demon beasts roamed freely. Only in the city could one feel safe, but if one wanted to enter the city, they had to pay a certain fee. Sir, you need to pay 100 lower spiritual stones to enter the Southern Sky City. 2. A Tier 3 warrior disciple who was patrolling the city gate greeted Li Lingtian when he saw his arrival. His face was extremely polite. Li Lingtian's cultivation was a warrior spirit powerhouse and his bearing was extraordinary. It was obvious that he was not someone to be trifled with. 100 spirit stones. Li Lingtian was taken aback, but he quickly took out his storage pouch and handed the 100 lower spiritual stones to the warrior disciple. He was new to this place and would not cause trouble over 100 spiritual stones. He had more than 30 million spiritual stones in his divine dragon ring, so he naturally did not care about this. However, he still used his storage pouch when he was outside. He did not reveal his gold and silver. This was the most basic experience in his previous life. He sized up the warriors patrolling at the city gate. The weakest among them was a Tier 3 warrior, and there were more than 30 of them in total. The leader was a Tier 5 warrior spirit disciple. Sir, this is your identification. With this waste token, you can enter and exit the city gate as you please, but only for a year. The warrior disciple said politely as he handed a jade token to Li Lingtian. Li Lingtian took a look at the jade token and walked into the city in a carefree manner. He then found a quieter inn to stay in. In the inn, Li Lingtian rested in peace after casting 2 simple restriction spells. He was excited to be connected to this world for the first time. I heard that there are many good things in the auction in Southern Sky City. Brother Zhang, do you want to go and take a look? For such an auction, with our strength and wealth, we can't even afford to pay the entrance fee. Even if we enter, we'll just be watching the show. The 2 Tier 3 warrior spirits were talking loudly in the restaurant. Suddenly, countless warriors surrounded them and looked at Zhang Xiao and Qingming curiously. The restaurant was always the most well-informed place. Countless martial artists gathered here, and information spread everywhere. Indeed. It seems that the entrance fee for this auction is 1,000 low-grade spirit stones. However, there are many precious items inside. Warriors from several cities near South Heaven City will participate in this auction. Qingming took a sip of wine and saw countless martial artists surrounding him. He immediately became extremely pleased and told them all the information he had obtained. The entrance fee is 1,000 low-grade spirit stones. Didn't the auction house earn a lot this time? Yeah, even if 1,000 people enter, it's still 1,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. I wonder when the auction will start? I think it's 5 days later, but if you want to enter, you have to make a reservation first. The auction house incident was a topic of conversation for the crowd. In a corner of the restaurant, Li Lingtian's expression was calm, but he was extremely interested. He had managed to catch up. In such an auction house, no one knew the origin of the items being auctioned, nor did anyone investigate the origin of the items. Moreover, the degree of rarity of the items was simply rare in some market cities. After inquiring about the location of the auction house, he left the restaurant and walked towards the auction house. The Southern Sky Auction House was known as the most powerful faction in the Southern Sky City. The auction house had always existed in the Southern Sky City. No one dared to trace the origins of the items that appeared in the Southern Sky Auction House, nor did anyone dare to cause trouble here. Outside the auction house, countless warriors were trading cultivation supplies, pills, inner cores, medicinal herbs, weapons. As long as it was useful to warriors, they could find it here. Li Lingtian wandered around casually before heading toward a shop. Welcome to the Southern Sky Treasure Shop. May I know what you need? When Li Lingtian arrived, a warrior came up to him and greeted him politely. Whether it was in his previous life or this life, Li Lingtian had always realized that the customer came first. The staff working here had sharp eyes. One look at Li Lingtian's temperament and they knew he was a rich man. Naturally, such a person would be treated as a VIP. Chapter 69, Chapter 69, Demon Beast Egg 1. Chapter 69, Demon Beast Egg 1. As the waiter introduced Li Lingtian to the precious items in the shop, he led Li Lingtian to a coffee table in the shop and sat down. He served him some fragrant tea and waited for Li Lingtian to speak. Can you make the decision here? Tell your manager to come and see me. As Li Lingtian sipped his tea, he spoke unhurriedly as if he was talking about something insignificant. However, he was unaware that the expression on the waiter's face was rapidly changing. If you want to buy the items in the shop, I can definitely make the decision. The shop assistant said politely, but his tone was not as pleasant as it was at the beginning. This was because the shop was paid commission for their work. The more customers they served, the more they earned. Now that Li Lingtian looked down on him and wanted to find a manager, he was naturally displeased. Can you make the decision for a business worth millions? Li Lingtian's sharp gaze was directed at the shop assistant. His eyes were filled with ice and fire, causing the shop assistant to tremble. The way he looked at Li Lingtian was like a glacier and a fiery hell. Please wait for a moment. I'll go and find the manager right away. Indeed, he did not dare to make the decision for $1 million deal. Even if he could, he would not dare to entertain someone like Li Lingtian. The shop assistant almost ran away. He didn't want to stay here for even a moment. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared and walked through the wooden door at the back of the shop. Li Lingtian scanned the surroundings with his divine consciousness. The store was well stocked with elixirs, herbs, materials, and weapons. However, they were all very ordinary. There were only a few spirit weapons and second-grade medicinal pills. Even so, they were extremely precious. In less than 5 minutes, he heard footsteps coming from inside. Through his divine consciousness, Li Lingtian noticed an elderly man in his 50s and a shop assistant walking out. I wonder which distinguished guest has arrived. Sun Zhong, please forgive me for not welcoming you from afar. The old man apologized as soon as he walked out. He was extremely tactful. Even if he was angry, he could only endure it when he heard someone greet him like this. However, when he saw that Li Lingtian was only a 15 or 16-year-old youth, his expression turned unnatural. Could this young man be the one who made the $1 million deal? Was this not a joke? Or was he here to cause trouble at the Southern Heaven treasure shop? Li Lingtian nodded as a form of greeting. However, he continued sipping his tea after that and did not notice Sun Zhong and his friend's expressions. Sir, this is the manager of our Southern Heaven treasure shop. Just now, you said that there was a business worth millions. Is that true? The shop assistant was stunned by Li Lingtian's actions. How dare he ignore their manager? Was he courting death? $1 million business? Even a martial arts grandmaster might not be able to do $1 million business. He was merely a warrior spirit now. In their hearts, they had already regarded Li Lingtian as someone who was looking for trouble. The tea is not bad. We can start now. Is it here? After a moment, Li Lingtian put down the fragrant tea in his hand and spoke calmly. Sun Zhong and the shop assistant were immediately speechless. May I know what you want to trade? Sun Zhong calmed himself down and tried his best to calm himself down. He did not want to go berserk in front of this young man. He might even kill this Tier 8 warrior spirit. Here. Yes, Li Lingtian replied softly. He took out a storage pouch and tossed it to Sun Zhong. A Tier 4 warrior king would have been treated with respect by other warrior spirits, but Li Lingtian did not take it seriously. Sun Zhong took the storage pouch nonchalantly and glanced at Li Lingtian. What good could a warrior spirit disciple's storage pouch possibly have? However, after his divine sense entered the storage bag, his expression kept changing, making the shop assistant curious. He didn't know what could make a martial king level manager lose his composure like this. A Tier 4 monster beast inner core and a Tier 4 monster beast egg. Sun Zhong exclaimed. Even if he was a martial king, it was rare to see a Tier 4 monster beast inner core. Tier 4 monster beast inner cores were the main ingredients for refining Tier 4 and Tier 5 pills. Not only were Tier 4 demonic beasts powerful, but even martial arts grandmasters might not be able to kill them. To see a Tier 4 inner core was simply a fortuitous encounter. He did not expect that there were actually more than 10 of them in this storage bag. What shocked him was not that. What was even more shocking was the baby Tier 4 demonic beast egg. A baby Tier 4 demonic beast egg could hatch a Tier 4 demonic beast. If a warrior had a Fey beast as a combat partner, their strength would definitely increase by a large margin. Fey beasts were usually stronger than humans. If a warrior spirit powerhouse used a Tier 1 Fey beast as a combat partner, it would not be of much help at all. If they obtained a Tier 2 Fey beast as a combat partner, it would be needless to say. However, it was impossible to get a demon beast with the same cultivation as him to be his combat partner. More importantly, even if they could work together to kill a high-level demon beast, it was impossible to subdue a high-level demon beast to be his combat partner. The only way was to raise the young ones from a young age. In that case, they would become battle partners. However, the eggs of young demon beasts were rare, countless times more difficult than the inner cores of demon beasts. A Tier 3 baby egg was already a rare item, let alone a Tier 4 baby demonic beast egg. Usually, a Tier 2 baby egg could be sold for 10,000 spirit stones, and a Tier 3 baby egg could be sold for 100,000 or even hundreds of thousands. A Tier 4 baby egg was obtained by chance last time, and was finally bought by a powerful Wuzong for 5 million. How is it? Li Lingtian replied calmly. The demonic beast inner core and demonic beast were extremely precious to others, but they were nothing in front of him. As long as it was a Tier 4 demonic beast, Little White could subdue it immediately. Besides the multicolored beast, there was also a Tier 4 level 7 jade-eyed beast in Li Lingtian's divine dragon ring. However, Li Lingtian rarely took it out. Demon beast eggs were meant to be hatched and nurtured into battle partners. Li Lingtian did not have to go through such trouble. With just a roar from Little White, countless demon beasts would submit to him. Little White had found 2 nests of these demon beast eggs in the Divine Dragon Palace on Hidden Dragon Island. There were a total of 13 eggs. He could exchange 8 of them for something. 14 grade 4 inner cores were also part of his wealth. He had no use for these inner cores, so he took them out to exchange for spirit stones and materials. Li Lingtian was secretly pleased when he saw Sun Zhong's expression. He had a lot of things in his divine dragon ring, but they were treated like treasures in the eyes of others. Not bad, not bad. I didn't expect you to have so many inner cores and young eggs. Please take a step forward. We'll discuss the price. Sun Zhong reluctantly returned the storage pouch to Li Lingtian. He did not dare to treat Li Lingtian as a pushover. In his heart, he was certain that the eggs did not belong to Li Lingtian. Instead, some powerful warrior had asked Li Lingtian to make a trade. Following that, the 3 of them moved into a private room. The waiter served them fragrant tea while Li Lingtian sipped the tea with a calm expression. Sun Zhong was extremely anxious, but he did not want to disturb Li Lingtian. Chapter 70, Auction House. Chapter 70, Auction House. Let's put it this way. There are 14 Tier 4 inner cores and 8 Tier 4 eggs here. I'll exchange a portion of them for spirit stones and a portion for some items. The item is a pill formula of grade 3 and above. Sir, you seem to be able to weigh the price. The Southern Sky Auction House is unable to accept these transactions, but the other auction houses are very welcoming. Li Lingtian smiled and put down the fragrant tea in his hand. He looked at Sun Zhong as if he was a warrior king's disciple. No problem, no problem. The Southern Sky Auction House's price is the most fair. Please rest assured. I'll give you this price according to the auction price. How about it? Sun Zhong muttered to himself for a moment. If he could auction off these demon beast cores and eggs in the Southern Sky Auction House, it would be of great help to the reputation of the auction house. Even if he didn't earn money, he would at least earn fame. Tier 4 inner cores and baby eggs were precious items. At that thought, he asked tentatively as he looked at Li Lingtian. The calmer Li Lingtian was, the more he believed that the person behind Li Lingtian was more powerful. Name a price. Let me see. Li Lingtian replied nonchalantly with a smile on his face. Level 4 inner core, 200,000 low-grade spirit stones each. Level 4 baby egg, 2,500,000 spirit stones each. How about it? A 3rd grade pill formula. You can trade it in the auction house. There are quite a few good things in this auction. Moreover, there are a few powerful martial artists who have come. I believe there will definitely be something that you need. Sun Zhong pondered for a long time before he decided to give Li Lingtian a compromise based on the price of the inner core and the egg. This way, the auction house would not lose much even if they did not make a profit. Okay, deal. Li Lingtian glanced at Sun Zhong and agreed without hesitation. Sun Zhong dared not lower the price based on his experience and knowledge. Besides, this was the only company in the Southern Sky City that could take on such a big business. Sir, please wait for a moment. I'll go up to get the spirit stones and discuss with the others. Sun Zhong could not help but feel a little regretful when he saw Li Lingtian agree to the deal. However, he soon realized that if he were to lower the price, the other party might reject the deal immediately. Although this young man looked to be only 15 or 16 years old, he gave off the feeling of an old fox that was a few hundred years old. A few hundred years? Although Li Lingtian was 16 years old, his 20 years of experience and wisdom from his previous life were comparable to this world. Soon, Sun Zhong left the private room and headed outside. The number was not small but shocking. Although he was a martial king and was the manager, Li Lingtian believed that he was only the manager on the surface. The real manager was definitely not as simple as he seemed. The shop assistant waited anxiously in the private room. Li Lingtian closed his eyes and ignored the shop assistant. After 10 minutes, Sun Zhong returned with a smile on his face. He began to trade with Li Lingtian. This time, he had 14 Tier 4 inner cores and 8 Tier 4 baby eggs for a total of 22,800,000 spiritual stones. Sir, this is the VIP card of our Southern Sky auction house. As long as you spend in the Southern Sky Market Square, treasure gathering shop, or the auction house, you will be able to enjoy a 20% discount. The VIP card will allow you to enjoy a private room in the auction house. After the transaction, Sun Zhong handed a golden card to Li Lingtian with a smile on his face. This was an opportunity to befriend Li Lingtian, so Li Lingtian accepted the card without hesitation and kept it in his storage pouch. He understood that Sun Zhong's card was not for him but for the so-called powerful warrior behind him. However, only he knew what Li Lingtian's backer was. Following that, Li Lingtian left the treasure shop and strolled around the other shops in Southern Sky City within a day. He sold all the spirit weapons that he could not use and earned nearly 3 million spiritual stones in one go dash. Now, he had more than 60 million spiritual stones in his divine dragon ring. Even a martial king or a martial grandmaster would not be able to fork out so many spiritual stones, let alone a warrior spirit. After a day of running around, Li Lingtian had gained some insight into this world. The intelligence of humans in this world was similar to that of the ancient Tang dynasty in his previous life. Moreover, the way they dressed in the divine martial continent was no different from the Tang dynasty. If it weren't for the fact that this place was called the divine martial continent and the powerful martial souls and martial artists, he would have thought that he was in the Tang dynasty. He returned to the inn and meditated to rest. During the day, he would go out for a stroll to familiarize himself with this world. This way, he could quickly integrate with this world. Time passed quickly. 5 days had passed, and the Southern Sky Auction House's auction had begun. In the evening, Li Lingtian packed his things and headed to the Southern Sky Auction House. Powerhouses had been coming to the Southern Sky City over the past few days and Li Lingtian had encountered quite a number of martial king powerhouses along the way. There were even martial arts grandmasters who had appeared. Needless to say, they were all here to participate in this auction. There should be items that attracted martial arts grandmasters in this auction. With a faint smile on his face, Li Lingtian walked leisurely toward the auction house. In less than half an hour, he arrived at the entrance of the auction house and saw many warriors queuing up to enter. However, when entering, one had to show the entry token. Without the token, even if one used spirit stones to buy it now, it would not work. Yes, there are really quite a number of experts coming this time. Li Lingtian looked at the countless warrior spirits, warrior kings, and martial grandmasters and sighed in his heart. Back when he was in Sky Cloud sect, he had always thought that Sky Cloud sect was one of the 4 great super sects and was powerful. However, when he saw the outside world, he realized that many hidden clans and itinerant cultivators were equally powerful. The warrior spirits who came here were at least tier 6 warrior spirits. There were even a bunch of warrior kings and quite a few martial grandmasters. If they were in Sky Cloud sect, these martial kings would be elders. But here, they were just ordinary warriors. Please show me your jade token. When a tier 3 warrior king saw Li Lingtian, he reminded him that a tier 8 warrior spirit was at the bottom of the pyramid. Take it. Li Lingtian extended his hand and handed the gold card over. The warrior king powerhouse's eyes lit up immediately and a respectful expression appeared on his face. He no longer dared to look down on this warrior spirit disciple. Sir, Please come in. This disciple will lead you to the private room. The Warrior King Powerhouse checked the gold card. This gold card was a VIP card. Even an ordinary martial arts grandmaster would not be able to obtain this VIP card. He did not expect it to appear on a warrior spirit disciple. The VIP card was not fake. Immediately, he gave a warrior spirit disciple beside him a look. The warrior spirit disciple stepped forward and bowed respectfully. He led the way in front, causing countless martial artists who were lining up to be extremely surprised. Li Lingtian entered the auction house and saw that there were thousands of seats. The entire auction house was extremely spacious and there were already countless warriors waiting inside. He followed the warrior spirit disciple all the way to the private room on the second floor. The private room had a clear view of the auction hall below. The feeling of being in a commanding position was indeed not bad. Chapter 71, Fire Spirit Sword. Chapter 71, Fire Spirit Sword. Li Lingtian entered the private room. It was about the same size as the private rooms he had visited before. It was simple but not exquisite. Instead, it was elegantly decorated with a comfortable animal skin sofa and an exquisite coffee table. Greetings, young master. After the warrior spirit disciples left, a girl in her 20s walked in with fragrant tea and some snacks in her hands. She politely greeted Li Lingtian before placing the things in her hands on the coffee table. Without Li Lingtian's permission, they stood at the side and waited. This was the treatment of a VIP. As long as they had money and status, it would be a pleasure to attend the auction. Li Lingtian leaned back on the sofa, enjoying the fragrant tea and delicious snacks as he waited for the auction to begin. An hour later, the entire auction house was filled with seats. Li Lingtian's divine perception scanned the entire auction house, intentionally or unintentionally. Most of the people who came were warrior spirit disciples and a few warrior kings. There were more than 30 martial ancestor realm experts. If these experts formed a sect, it would be comparable to Sky Cloud's sect. In front of the auction house, a platform slowly rose up. The platform was 5 meters high and 3 meters wide. An old man in green stood on it, emitting a powerful aura. He was a Tier 5 martial arts grandmaster, and his cultivation was similar to perfected Tian Zhao's. In such an auction, only martial arts grandmasters could suppress the order here. Welcome to the Southern Sky Auction House. I am Sima Ling, the host of this auction. The old man said loudly with a faint smile on his face. After saying that, he cupped his fists and greeted the martial artists in the auction hall. I believe that everyone knows the rules of the Southern Sky Auction House. The highest bidder wins. Now, let us begin the auction for the first item. After Sima Ling finished speaking, a young girl dragged a jade plate up the stairs. The jade plate was covered with a red brocade cloth. It was unknown what the brocade cloth was made of, but it could completely block the divine senses of martial artists. The first item is a superior grade spiritual weapon. It's a fire spiritual weapon with a fire attribute. Warriors with fire martial souls can greatly increase their strength. The benefits are obvious. The starting price is 10,000 lower spiritual stones, and each increment is 1,000 lower spiritual stones. Sima Ling opened the door unhurriedly and saw an exquisite fiery red longsword lying inside. The longsword was emitting a dense fire element spirit chi. How could a warrior not know how powerful a superior grade spirit weapon was? It was just that it was not cheap. 11,000 spirit stones. 12,000 spirit stones. 13,000 spirit stones. After Sima Ling finished speaking, the competition below started to get intense. Not to mention a superior grade spirit weapon, even an inferior grade spirit weapon was something that warriors would fight over. They would often fight to the death for an inferior grade spirit weapon. A superior grade spirit weapon was extremely powerful. Not only did a warrior need a powerful cultivation base, but they also needed a powerful weapon. Two people with the same cultivation base, one using an ordinary weapon and the other using an inferior grade spirit weapon, had a 99% chance of winning if they used an inferior grade spirit weapon. It could be seen that a good spirit weapon could double the strength of its owner. However, spirit weapons were rare and very few people could take them out. It could also be said that there was a price but no supply. 37,000 spirit stones. 38,000 spirit stones. The price skyrocketed. In less than a minute, the price had reached 4,000,000. The competitors were not only warrior spirit disciples, but also martial king powerhouses. Only martial grandmaster powerhouses did not compete. Martial arts grandmaster powerhouses usually had their own spiritual weapons or even profound level weapons. 163,000 low-grade spirit stones. In the end, a Tier 9 warrior spirit at the peak of the Great Fulfillment, a fire warrior, used 163,000 lower spiritual stones to obtain an upper spiritual weapon, the fire spirit sword. A warrior with a fire warrior soul would definitely be twice as powerful when using a spiritual weapon. Congratulations to number 170 for obtaining the fire spirit sword. Sima Ling asked the young lady beside him to bring the fire spirit sword in front of warrior 170. The two of them began to trade. In the auction house, the next auction would only be held after the items were traded. Young master, these are the 10 items from the Southern Sky auction house tonight. Do you need anything? The maid handed a jade slip to Li Lingtian and greeted him respectfully. Although this young man was about her age, he was definitely not a simple person to be able to enter the VIP room. Let me see. Li Lingtian took the jade slip from the maid's hand with one hand and injected his divine consciousness into it. He memorized all 10 items in it and was immediately pleasantly surprised. It wasn't a secret to know the items being auctioned in advance. However, those who could know in advance were definitely extraordinary figures. Only VIPs and some top-notch experts could know. This was because they could focus on competing for the items they needed. They wouldn't waste their energy and spirit stones on unimportant items. This way, those who knew about the 10 items could measure their wealth and determine what they could compete for. He returned the jade slip to the servant girl with a relaxed expression. With his wealth and spirit stones, there was no one who could compete with him to auction off the items here. Following that, Li Lingtian enjoyed the delicacies and desserts while watching the competition below. The maid beside him looked at Li Lingtian in confusion. This is the 5th item. I believe that many of you don't need the 5th item, but this item is indeed very precious. The alchemists in the auction house will definitely be very satisfied with this. The first few items were better than the last. Other than the first superior grade spirit weapon, the others were all peerless spirit weapons. Their prices were several times higher than superior grade spirit weapons. The most powerful one was a peerless spirit weapon of the metal element, which was worth as much as 700,000 yuan. This spirit weapon landed in the storage bag of an 8th level martial king. Sima Ling smiled. In the auction house, the items would get more valuable the further they went. The first few items were just a warm-up. This item was passed down by Martial Emperor Hao Tian 500 years ago. He took out a jade slip from the jade plate. The jade slip emitted a faint ancient aura. The martial artists below all let out a breath of cold air, and their eyes revealed excitement. Li Lingtian was stunned as well. Although he knew what this jade slip was, he did not expect it to be passed down by Martial Emperor Hao Yan. It was passed down by Martial Emperor Hao Tian. Martial Emperor Hao Tian is the #1 expert in the Azure continent. He's also the only level 6 spirit alchemist. He's known as the #1 person in the Eastern Spirit Azure continent. That's right. Martial Emperor Hao Tian also relied on alchemy skills to reach the rank of a Martial Emperor. Could it be that this jade slip is an alchemy technique passed down by Martial Emperor Hao Tian? It can't be Martial Emperor Hao Tian's cultivation technique, right? Martial Emperor's cultivation techniques are all above Earth rank. All of a sudden, all the warriors exclaimed. Martial Emperor Hao Tian was a godlike existence in Eastern Spirit Azure continent. Although he left Eastern Spirit Azure continent in the end, No one in Eastern Spirit Azure continent could compare to Martial Emperor Hao Tian. This jade slip is a type of elixir refined by Martial Emperor Hao Tian. It's called the Blue Dust Elixir. The Tier 3 Blue Dust Elixir can instantly restore the true chi of a warrior spirit martial artist. It's useless against a warrior king, Sima Ling said excitedly. If someone managed to refine this pill, they would be rich. There were many restrictions for those below the warrior spirit level. However, in this world, there were the most number of warriors and warrior spirits. They would definitely become the target of all the warriors below the warrior spirit level, Chapter 72, Chapter 72, Blue Dust Pill Recipe. Chapter 72, Blue Dust Pill Recipe. Li Lingtian had obtained 3 blue dust pills previously. He had been searching for this pill formula to obtain the refinement method. He did not expect to encounter it here. He was already a Tier 8 warrior spirit now, and he did not have much time left to use the blue dust pill. However, if he could get his hands on this pill formula and comprehend it, the pills he refined would definitely shock countless warriors in the Green Continent. No matter which world it was, there were the most people at the bottom. The power of the bottom may not be large, but when united, it was a force that could not be ignored. The starting bid for the 3rd grade blue dust pill is 100,000 spirit stones. Each increment is 10,000 spirit stones. After Sima Ling finished speaking, the excited expressions on the faces of all the warriors below dimmed considerably. Although the blue dust pill was heaven-defying, it was also heaven-defying and difficult to refine. A grade 3 medicinal pill required at least an alchemy grandmaster. Even in this auction house, there weren't many alchemy grandmasters. Moreover, alchemy grandmasters already had no use for the blue dust pill. In other words, this pill formula could only be excited for a while. It was only pleasing to the eye but useless. Leo. Low-grade spirit stones. After waiting for a moment, someone finally raised the price. Compared to the spirit weapons in front, the pill formula had almost become an unpopular item. Not many people were interested. In the private room, Li Lingtian saw a Tier 4 Martial King Elder bid through the window. With his mastery of alchemy and a sweep of his divine perception, he could tell that the Elder was an alchemy grandmaster. Alchemists possessed fire-type spirit chi and the spirituality of pills. Li Lingtian was the same, but few knew about it unless he was an alchemist. 120,000 low-grade spirit stones. Another old man raised the bid. He was also an alchemy grandmaster. It seemed that these alchemists were all here for the medicinal ingredients and pill formulas. 130,000 low-grade spirit stones. 140,000 low-grade spirit stones. In an instant, a total of 11 people competed for the pill formula of the 3rd grade blue dust pill. Among the 11 people, 7 were alchemy grandmasters, 2 were alchemy masters, and the remaining 2 were martial arts grandmasters. They were not alchemy masters. 410,000 low-grade spirit stones. Although there weren't many people competing, the competition for alchemists was very intense. These people were either alchemists or wuzongs. Alchemists were all extremely rich, and wuzongs naturally wouldn't lack spirit stones. Increase the bid. Li Lingtian said calmly before he gestured to the maid beside him and extended a finger. He then continued to enjoy the snacks. Since he was a distinguished guest, there was naturally no need for him to do those things. He had a maid by his side, so it would be a waste not to use her. Young master wants to compete for this blue dust pill. 10,000. Servant Ling Yao looked at Li Lingtian with her bright eyes. A young man competing for this pill formula was no joke. Li Lingtian shook his head. If he had increased the bid by 10,000, he would not have bothered with them. 100,000. Ling Yao was taken aback. Everyone else had raised the bid by 10,000, yet this young master had raised it by 100,000. She was even more certain that Li Lingtian was just joking. She then asked Li Lingtian softly. Li Lingtian did not say anything but shook his head. He could not get this pill formula even with 100,000. A million? Ling Yao didn't know how she said it either. She didn't dare to imagine a million at all. Just because he did not believe in it did not mean that others would not do the same. Li Lingtian nodded without the slightest change in his expression, as if he was indifferent to the matter. 1 million. Ling Yao called out softly. Although her voice was soft, it reached the ears of all the martial artists. This voice was no different from a clap of thunder. Others had increased the price by 10,000, but now the price was only 530,000. They did not expect someone to raise the price to 1 million all of a sudden. A million? A million? You must be joking. 1 million to buy a third-grade pill formula. Everyone looked at the private room on the second floor, but the window was blocked by a layer of transparent gauze, and their divine senses could not enter. All of a sudden, all the warriors in the auction house were stunned. This was 1 million, not 100 lower spiritual stones. A warrior spirit disciple could never dream of getting 1 million in their lifetime. Even a warrior king would not be able to afford it. 1,010,000 low-grade spirit stones. There were countless martial artists who were shocked by the price of 1 million spirit stones, but there were still people who increased the bid. To alchemists, there was nothing more interesting than medicinal herbs and pill formulas. 1,020,000 low-grade spirit stones. 1,030,000 low-grade spirit stones. 1,210,000 low-grade spirit stones. The 11 people did not have the slightest intention of giving up. The shock from before was quickly drowned out by the competition. A faint smile appeared on Li Lingtian's face. Only powerhouses and alchemists would understand the value of this pill formula. The pill formula was like a seed. If he were to refine a Tier 3 blue dust pill, it would be a shocking fortune. Increase the bid. He didn't know if anyone else could concoct a third-grade blue dust pill, but if he had the materials, he should be able to concoct it. The heaven and earth creation cauldron and the ancient alchemy techniques were all existences that shook the divine martial continent. The combination of the two and Li Lingtian's 21st century wisdom was a perfect combination. If he could not refine it, there would be very few people in the world who could refine the blue dust pill. When she spoke, she similarly didn't look at Ling Yao. She waved her right hand and stretched out 2 fingers. If Ling Yao still didn't understand this meaning, she wouldn't be a qualified maid. Ling Yao could not help but feel shocked when she saw Li Lingtian's bid. This young man was too mysterious. He could easily bid 1 million. What kind of concept was this? That young lady was not in love, let alone a rich, capable young man like Li Lingtian. No one would not admire him. When she saw Li Lingtian's tidying up, her heart pounded violently. If this continued, not only would she collapse, the warriors in the auction house would also collapse. 2 million low-grade spirit stones. A crisp sound rang out. This time, the sound was much louder than the last time. This sound would be a shocking bomb at any time. 2 million. Him again. 2 million low-grade spirit stones. Everyone was shocked to the point of being burnt on the outside and tender on the inside. They did not react for a long time. A third-grade pill formula would cost at most tens of thousands of low-grade spirit stones in other places. An ordinary third-grade pill formula would cost at most 10,000 low-grade spirit stones. However, he did not expect that someone would actually bid 2 million for this pill formula. The price had increased by nearly 1 million at a time. Was this still acceptable? Not only were all the warriors shocked, even Sima Ling was shocked. As a martial arts grandmaster, it was not difficult for him to take out 1 million spirit stones. However, taking out so many at once was not so easy. Moreover, the other party's voice did not seem to care about the 2 million spirit stones at all. He wondered who the person in the VIP room was. This was 2 million. Even if it was an ordinary expert, there would not be more than 50 people who could take out 2 million. Moreover, these people were all representatives of a sect or family, and they had gathered together to participate in the auction. I'll add 100,000 low-grade spirit stones. 2, 1 million. If anyone bids higher than me, I'll give up. A martial arts grandmaster said lightly. He scanned the VIP room with his divine sense, but he could not see who was in the room. Moreover, the guests in the private room were either rich or noble. It was normal for even Wuzongs to be in there. Then 1 foot 11 inches pay 2 million low-grade spirit stones. 3 million low-grade spirit stones. 7 million. I'll take this pill formula back and study it. The other alchemy grandmasters and experts did not intend to give up on the pill formula. However, the highest bidder would get it. Without spirit stones, even martial arts grandmasters could only look at it. It's time to end it. We're wasting time. Increase the bid. Li Lingtian shook his head. He had decided to take the pill formula. Besides, he still had some matters to attend to later and he did not want to waste any time on the pill formula. After saying that, he stretched out his right hand and made a gesture. He was obviously impatient with the auction below. 4 million low-grade spiritual stones. Ling Yao's heart was numb from the shock when she saw Li Lingtian's gesture. This young man was mysterious and powerful. Spiritual stones were like dirt in his eyes. Young master said that the auction of the pill formula should end now. When she finished calling out the price, Ling Yao's eyes turned and revealed a crafty smile. Her appearance was strange and extremely cute. 4 million. 4 million low-grade spiritual stones. It's time to end it. So powerful. Overwhelming. What a domineering method. This is what a truly rich person is like. Below, everyone was shocked. The 5th item was originally a useless item, but it was like a huge battle was about to happen. An expert in a private room directly used the price to suppress everyone, making everyone have no choice but to lower their heads in front of spirit stones. The competition of wealth evolved here. Chapter 73, Free Trade. Chapter 73, Free Trade. All the experts shook their heads. They could only be unlucky to encounter such a fierce person. In front of 4 million spirit stones, even pill refiners had no choice but to lower their heads. They could take out 4 million spirit stones, so there was no need for pill refiners to waste it on a grad 3 pill formula. Moreover, this pill formula might not be able to refine medicinal pills. Moreover, even if he comprehended it, he did not have that many materials. After the 5th item was auctioned off, a young lady carried a jade tray and delivered the pill formula to Li Lingtian's private room. Young master, the pill formula you auctioned. The young girl walked into the private room and was immediately stunned when she saw that the person auctioning the pill recipe was not an old man but a 15 or 16-year-old youth. In her heart, the person who auctioned the pill formula was either an alchemist or a martial arts grandmaster. Martial arts grandmasters were usually in their 50s or 60s, and alchemists were also old men. Moreover, a mere youth would not be able to do such a thing. The white-robed young man before him had a carefree expression and looked a little lazy. He was extremely carefree and gave off a mysterious charm. Yes, bring it forward. Li Lingtian replied softly. The young lady was about to hand the pill formula to Li Lingtian when she was stopped by Ling Yao, who was beside her. She took the pill formula and handed it to Li Lingtian. Releasing his consciousness, a strand of consciousness entered the pill formula. Immediately, a powerful message was transmitted to his mind. Moreover, there was a restriction in the depths of the pill formula. Li Lingtian understood that this was the rule of this world. Be it cultivation techniques, pill formulas, or information, he could only learn a portion of it. If he wanted to understand what was inside, he had to buy the jade slip. Take it, 4 million spirit stones. After waiting for a moment, he withdrew his divine sense from the jade slip and nodded his head in satisfaction. With his experience in controlling ancient alchemy techniques, this pill formula was not fake. Moreover, the Southern Sky auction house was not small. Naturally, they would not use a fake pill formula to deceive others. After the fifth item was successfully traded, it was time for free trading. The so-called free trade meant that the martial artists participating in the auction would trade their own treasures with each other. Everyone, the auction for the first 5 items has ended. It is now time for free trade. Free trade will last for 2 hours. Free trade. The quality and price are all under your control. If anything goes wrong, it has nothing to do with the auction house. However, we can provide an appraiser for this match. This way, we can relieve everyone's worries. Sima Ling waited for Li Lingtian's transaction to be completed before he announced. This was the rule of the auction house. There was free trade midway. Otherwise, those warriors who had no intention of competing would have no way out. There were only 10 items in each auction, and there were only a few thousand people. There was no way they would compete for 10 items, and those who had too few spirit stones would not participate. Most of the martial artists who participated were here for the free trade. Soon, the door to the side of the auction house opened and everyone headed toward the door. Li Lingtian looked at the warriors below indifferently, his thoughts unknown. At that moment, there was a knock on the door of the private room. Ling Yao looked at Li Lingtian with a pleading gaze. After receiving Li Lingtian's approval, the wooden door to the private room was opened. An elderly man walked in and came before Li Lingtian before he cupped his fists politely. Young master, the VIPs in the VIP room have the opportunity to participate in the free trade. I wonder if young master wants to participate in the free trade. If you are interested, I will help you arrange it. Bai Yuntian was stunned when he saw Li Lingtian. He did not expect a young man to be here. As an elder, he might not know all the distinguished guests. However, the distinguished guests here were all martial arts grandmasters or representatives of super families and sections. He did not expect that this private room was indeed a youth. Free trade? Don't find some random dog or cat for this young master. Go and make some arrangements for this young master. Li Lingtian pondered for a moment. He did have some rare items in his possession and he did not lack spiritual stones. He was also curious to see what treasures these VIPs and grandmasters had. This way, he would have a certain understanding of Wuzong's. In his opinion, no matter which world it was, one could tell the strength of an opponent from their wealth. That's natural. Free trade is divided into 2 levels. One is for disciples below the martial arts grandmaster level. The other is for experts above the martial arts grandmaster level and VIPs. Martial arts grandmasters and VIPs are divided into 4 rooms. Each room can hold 10 or 20 people. If there are no treasures that you are interested in, you can change rooms. Bai Yuntian was stunned. This young man was indeed not a simple person. He had just crushed the other party with 4 million yuan, but judging from his aura, he was definitely not an ordinary person. The more he did so, the more he felt Li Lingtian's mysteriousness. He was extremely polite to Li Lingtian without the slightest impatience or disdain for Li Lingtian's mere warrior spirit. Lead the way. Li Lingtian was satisfied. This was good as well. If there was something he liked, he could find a way to exchange for it. Right now, the only things he did not lack were spirit stones, cultivation techniques, and skills. He had powerful and heaven-defying treasures, but he could not use them. He was also looking at a treasure mountain but could not use them. With Bai Yuntian leading the way, Li Lingtian stood up and headed outside. However, when he realized that Ling Yao was not moving, he turned around and glanced at the maid. Don't you want to go and take a look? Li Lingtian said in a gentle voice as he looked at Ling Yao with a faint smile. Yes, I want to go. At first, Ling Yao was also in a difficult position. She didn't know if she should follow him or wait here. This was also the first time she took care of a guest in a private room, so she had no experience at all. Now that Li Lingtian had asked this question, he was overjoyed. It was naturally a good idea to meet those powerful experts. If it was any other time, he would definitely stay far away from those martial kings and martial grandmasters. The three of them left the private room and walked towards a passageway. Finally, they came to a basement. The basement was dry and brightly lit. There were 6 or 7 private rooms in the basement, and each private room was covered by a restriction. Young master, these 4 rooms are for VIPs and martial arts grandmasters to trade freely. Fighting is prohibited here. Bai Yuntian led Li Lingtian to a private room and spoke politely. With a tap of his hand, an opening appeared in the restriction, allowing Li Lingtian to enter. Li Lingtian led Ling Yao into the private room. As soon as they entered the room, he felt a dozen sharp gazes sweeping over him. While the other party was sizing him up, he was also sizing up the private room and the people inside. The private room was 50 square meters. In the middle was a huge stone table. 14 martial artists were sitting around the stone table. The transaction had not begun yet. Out of the 14 warriors, there were 9 martial arts grandmasters and 5 martial kings. Li Lingtian's cultivation was the lowest among them, so low that everyone was fuming. Warrior spirit disciples were brought here to trade freely. Wasn't this an insult to their status? However, these were all smart people. To be able to come here, they must be people in the VIP room. A warrior spirit was nothing, but their backing was definitely not to be trifled with, Chapter 74, Emperor-Grade Demon Trapping Array. Chapter 74, Emperor-Grade Demon Trapping Array. Li Lingtian found a seat and sat down. After Ling Yao served him some tea, she stood behind him. The atmosphere in the private room was not pleasant. The dozen powerhouses would occasionally glance at Li Lingtian, the low-ranking disciple. However, Li Lingtian remained calm as he leisurely sipped his tea. This made Ling Yao even more curious. This youth was rich and had good looks. Now that he was facing so many experts, he did not have the slightest restraint. Moreover, the current situation seemed to be dominated by him. All the experts were sitting obediently, but he was sipping tea unhurriedly. Only he could do this. After waiting for 5 minutes, another 2 martial arts grandmasters and a martial king arrived. The free trade was about to begin. Let's begin. You guys can do whatever you want. I'll watch. In the quiet private room, Li Lingtian's words broke the silence. All the warriors were stunned and their faces were filled with anger. It was fine for a martial king, but the 10 martial arts grandmasters were not looking too good. A warrior spirit's disciple was actually so arrogant. No matter what, it was not his turn to say such words. Anger, only anger, but it couldn't be unleashed. I have a 6th-order demonic beast scaly armor here that can be forged into a supreme-grade profound armament or even an emperor-grade defensive shield. I need 3 million spirit stones or a bottle of 4th-grade pills to increase my cultivation. At the same time, I can also take out treasures of the same grade to exchange for it. Zhou Lai stood up and took out a palm-sized scale armor from his storage bag. The scale armor emitted a pale green glow. More importantly, the scale armor contained astonishing demonic power. Grade 6 Silver Dragon Scale. Zhou Lai, I didn't expect you to have such a good thing. Unfortunately, I don't have what you want. Long Yu looked at the scales in front of Zhou Lai and said in surprise. One had to know that a 6th-tier demonic beast had the strength of a martial honor. Using its scales to create a defensive shield was extremely powerful. All the cultivators looked at the scale armor in front of Zhou Lai in surprise, but they all felt regretful. 3 million spirit coins for this scale armor was not worth it. Similarly, there was no grade 4 pill. I have a 3,000-year-old dragon fruit here. It costs 3 million spiritual stones or an equivalent treasure. One want to trade for the Earth tier advanced fire skill, meteor shower. The price is 5 million spirit stones. You can also use treasures to exchange for it. Everyone should recognize this thing of mine, right? It's an emperor-grade demon trapping array. A rank 3 martial arts grandmaster mysteriously took out a set of array flags with a faint smile on his face. What? An Emperor-grade demon trapping array? No way, did you bring this Emperor-grade demon trapping array here? Could it be that you entered the Devil Canyon? The few martial arts grandmasters and martial kings were shocked. Only Li Lingtian remained calm as he did not know how powerful the demon trapping array was. Even though he was at the monarch level, he did not understand the power of the array flags. Moreover, even if he was surprised, he would not show it on his face. When a martial arts grandmaster mentioned the Heavenly Devil Canyon, he felt a wave of emotion in his heart. The last time, he heard that Tian he had entered the Heavenly Devil Canyon and obtained a treasure, becoming a martial arts grandmaster. Now, someone was mentioning the Heavenly Devil Canyon again. What kind of existence was this Devil Canyon? It was actually so magical. Moreover, based on his feeling, this Devil Canyon was not a good place. Yeah, 6 people went in, and I was the only one who came out. Wang Tian thought of the dangers in the Devil Canyon and was still afraid. 6 martial arts grandmasters and even a rank 8 martial arts grandmaster had died in there. He was the only one who came out. However, all the treasures were destroyed and he obtained this monarch-level array flag, the demon trapping array flag. Li Lingtian studied the Emperor-grade demon trapping array flag carefully. There were 4 flags in total and they were emitting a strong demonic chi that gave off an uncomfortable feeling. Following that, everyone took out their respective treasures and began to discuss the price and terms of the trade. Li Lingtian was the only one watching from the sidelines. Hey, let's go. Li Lingtian sighed. Although there were a few items that tempted him, they were all extremely expensive. Could it be that you don't see anything good here? A martial arts grandmaster suppressed his anger and said indifferently. The aura on his body soared. Such a treasure was extremely precious, but no one could trade it. There were only 2 or 3 people who had successfully made the deal. Now that a warrior spirit disciple had such an expression on his face, he was naturally extremely displeased. There really isn't anything good here. The treasures that I'm trading with, you can't even take them out. Li Lingtian said with a smile. He did not take this martial arts grandmaster seriously at all. Fighting was not allowed here. Moreover, even if a martial arts grandmaster were to attack, he could still defend himself. What kind of joke is this? What treasure can you have? Take out the treasure and let us see it. Could it be that it's even more precious than the treasures here? This top-grade profound armament inner armor of mine is a priceless treasure. All of a sudden, all the martial arts grandmasters and martial kings were enraged. They had actually been ignored by a warrior spirit and started to introduce the benefits of their treasures. Ling Yao's expression was ugly as well. Li Lingtian had offended all the martial arts grandmasters and martial kings. Under such circumstances, how could a warrior like her withstand such a powerful aura? Have you heard of a treasure that can increase the cultivation of a martial arts grandmaster by 1 realm? Li Lingtian stopped in his tracks and turned around to look at the martial arts grandmaster powerhouses. He already had a plan in mind. He had a total of 167 10,000-year-old purple jade fruits. If he took out a few of them, he would definitely be able to exchange them for a few treasures. However, he did not want anyone to remember him. Now that he had taken a fancy to a few treasures here, his strength could increase by a level after obtaining them. Why not? Is there such a treasure? Unless it's a heaven and earth spirit fruit that's over 5,000 years old. A 1,000-year-old spiritual fruit can increase the cultivation of a martial king by 1 realm. A 10,000-year-old spiritual fruit can increase the cultivation of a martial arts grandmaster by 1 realm. However, a person can only use it once in their lifetime. It can raise a martial arts grandmaster by 100%. Could it be the 10 millennium purple jade fruit? It's the purple jade fruit. Only the purple jade fruit has such an effect. The few martial arts grandmasters were excited. Although they had not seen such a thing, topics that could increase the realm of martial arts grandmasters were always the most popular. Do you know where the purple jade fruit is? Cosmic Dragon glared at Li Lingtian. If there were any clues, they would search for them with all their might. Even a warrior would find it difficult to advance a tier, let alone a warrior ascendant. On the path of martial arts, one would go from shallow to deep. The further one went, the more difficult it would be to cultivate. If he could really find the purple jade fruit, he would be rich. With an increase in his cultivation realm, his strength would soar, and his lifespan would increase. Which martial arts grandmaster would not go crazy? Chapter 75, 10,000-Year Purple Jade Fruit. Chapter 75, 10,000-Year Purple Jade Fruit. I have 3 purple jade fruits. Li Lingtian activated his divine consciousness and opened his storage pouch. 3 bowl-sized purple fruits floated out from it. Instantly, the entire private room was filled with an astonishing amount of spirit chi, giving all the powerhouses a jolt of spirit. Just this aura alone was refreshing. Needless to say, this fruit was powerful and heaven-defying. The purple fruit was almost crystal clear, and there was still mysterious heaven and earth chi on it. The 10 martial arts grandmasters and a few martial kings were all stunned. Purple jade fruit. 10,000-year-old purple jade fruit. It really is a 10,000-year-old purple jade fruit. The 10 martial arts grandmasters cried out in surprise. Their hearts trembled. As long as they ate a fruit, they could ignore the bottleneck and advance a realm. If one consumed this purple jade fruit, one will be able to reach rank 6 martial arts grandmaster. If I get this fruit, I can raise my cultivation to the 4th level of the martial arts grandmaster realm. The martial arts grandmaster experts began to fantasize. In this world, there was nothing better than eating spiritual fruits to increase their cultivation. Moreover, this fantasy was right in front of their eyes. Could it be that everyone wants to snatch this purple jade fruit? Do you think that everyone has the ability to do so? Li Lingtian's heart was pounding as he looked at the martial arts grandmaster powerhouse's eyes. He had underestimated the martial arts grandmaster powerhouse's desire for the 10 millennium purple jade fruit. However, he was not worried that these guys would snatch the fruit. In this place, no one dared to mess around. Moreover, even if everyone dared to snatch the fruit, he had a way to leave this place. Sir, how about selling a 10,000-year-old purple jade fruit to me for 7 million? Sir, give me 1 purple jade fruit and this inner armor in exchange. Sir, what are your conditions to trade for the purple jade fruit? You're only a warrior spirit now. Even if you swallow this purple jade fruit, will you do it? Self-destruct immediately. The martial arts grandmaster and martial king saw Li Lingtian's fearless expression and immediately came to their senses. Although they did not know what this young man was relying on, the young man who was able to produce the 10 millennium purple jade fruit must have his own strengths. Humph, do you all think I'm a 3-year-old child or a fool? 10,000-year purple jade fruit, 7 million? I'll give you 70 million, go buy one for me. You want to exchange an inner armor for a 10,000-year-old purple jade fruit? Aren't you underestimating the purple jade fruit too much? Li Lingtian listed out the conditions of the exchange for all the warriors. Everyone had their own needs and the treasures of these warriors were all powerful. However, Li Lingtian's purple jade fruit had become a supreme treasure in their eyes. In Li Lingtian's eyes, this treasure was just a so-so. He could only consume more than 100 of these purple jade fruits once. One only have 3 10,000-year-old purple jade fruits. I probably won't be able to become a martial arts grandmaster in this lifetime. Otherwise, I wouldn't have taken them out even if I were beaten to death. You guys decide. Whoever offers the highest price will trade for a purple jade fruit. Li Lingtian chuckled to himself. He had already made up his mind. He could trade for the inner armor, the array flags, the dragon fruit, or the advanced earth tier meteor shower. Following that, the 10 martial arts grandmasters increased the price of their treasures. They added spirit stones, medicinal herbs, and medicinal pills. Each of them increased the price. Because there were only 3 purple jade fruits, it was impossible for him not to use his full strength. This inner armor of mine, 6 million. I'll give you 7 million spirit stones for my Earth-rank advanced meteor shower. My dragon fruit, 7 million spirit stones, and a sword talisman. My monarch-level demon trapping array flag and a shocking thunder. In the end, the item with the highest price was the one that Li Lingtian had his eyes on. The rest were basically eliminated. 1. Choose dragon fruit, array flag, and skill. The 4 martial arts grandmasters were waiting for Li Lingtian to speak. Their faces were filled with confidence. They were extremely confident in their treasures and their value. They believed that this warrior spirit disciple would take a fancy to them. When Li Lingtian made the announcement, the 3 selected martial arts grandmasters were excited. 1 10,000-year-old purple jade fruit would allow them to advance by 1 realm. With a wave of his hand, the treasures of the 3 martial arts grandmasters entered his storage pouch. 3 10,000-year-old purple jade fruits were also shot at the 3 martial arts grandmasters. Once everything was done, he left with Ling Yao. By the time everyone reacted, Li Lingtian had already left. Li Lingtian left the private room and entered another private room. He exited the room after finding nothing good with one hand. He returned to his private room to rest and wait for the auction to begin. From the beginning to the end, Ling Yao's small face had a look of shock. Everything about this youth gave people too great of an impact. Even though she did not know how powerful the purple jade fruit was, as a martial artist, even a fool would understand how magical the purple jade fruit was when she saw these martial arts grandmasters throw out a large amount of their wealth in exchange for it. He did not expect this young man to have such a powerful family background and to be so calm when facing a Wu Zone. Young master, is that purple jade really that magical? Ling Yao placed the fragrant tea in Li Lingtian's hands and asked softly with curiosity. Her bright eyes were fixed on Li Lingtian. Do you want one? Li Lingtian was in a good mood. He turned around and looked at the maid beside him. The maid was a rare beauty who looked to be around 16 or 17 years old. She was extremely beautiful. I wouldn't dare. Ling Yao blushed when she saw Li Lingtian's expression. However, she felt that something was amiss when she heard Li Lingtian's words. Li Lingtian must be angry when he asked if he wanted a treasure that even a martial arts grandmaster would fight for. This purple jade fruit is indeed so magical. It can ignore bottlenecks and directly raise a martial arts grandmaster by 1 realm. A person can only use it once in their lifetime. Li Lingtian closed his eyes to rest after he finished speaking. 3 out of the 10 martial arts grandmasters would obtain the purple jade fruit. There would definitely be a huge battle, but it had nothing to do with him. However, after he won the other item, he had to leave first to avoid being targeted. Time passed very quickly. 2 hours passed and the free trade time ended. All the martial artists returned to their seats. The cultivators who had successfully traded were naturally happy, but those who had not had ugly expressions on their faces. Just the entrance fee was 1,000 spirit stones. After waiting for 5 minutes, everyone had returned. However, Li Lingtian noticed that a few people were missing from his divine consciousness. Others might not know what was going on, but he knew very well that a few martial arts grandmasters must have left for the purple jade fruit. Without obtaining the treasure, they killed and snatched it. This was a common occurrence in the divine martial continent. Seeing the treasure that could increase his cultivation levels slip away, he naturally wouldn't give up. As for the youth who took out the purple jade fruit, he would make plans when the time came. There were a total of 7 martial arts grandmasters missing. The remaining 3 were also martial arts grandmasters who did not obtain the purple jade fruit. Li Lingtian smiled bitterly in his heart when he realized this problem. Those who left were fighting for the purple jade fruit. Those who stayed were either competing for the item or targeting him. Any random Wu Zong was not someone he could provoke, Chapter 76, Profound Een Ice Crystal. Chapter 76, Profound Een Ice Crystal. The purpose of coming out this time was to gain experience, to see the human style of this world, and to integrate himself into this world. He didn't expect to encounter a few good treasures. However, he had to leave quickly after this auction and find a place to rest. Moreover, the once-in-a-decade genius competition in Sky Dragon Empire was about to begin. Everyone, the free trading time has ended. We will now continue with the auction. After Sima Ling and the other warriors returned, he swept his gaze over the few seats that were absent. He furrowed his brows and concealed it. Some powerful martial artists could also leave midway. The auction house would not restrict the martial artists from leaving or staying unless they disturbed the order of the auction house. The next few items were all amazing treasures and profound level weapons. The best one was even a peerless profound level weapon. To Li Lingtian's surprise, his Tier 4 youngling egg was put up for auction as well. It was normal for it to be placed in the middle of the auction. Li Lingtian did not regret the fact that a Tier 4 demonic beast egg had reached a price of 3.9 million. Anything could happen in an auction house. It was not a loss for him to have over 2 million Tier 4 eggs. The last item, Profound Een Ice Crystal. Dark Een Ice Crystal. Warriors with ice martial souls can greatly increase their cultivation and strength. This ice crystal comes from the extreme north Dark Een land. There is no low price, and each increment should not be less than 100,000. Sima Ling took out a brocade box. The box was sealed with over 10 talismans and it was emitting a chilling aura that made all the warriors tremble. Some of the powerful warriors had greedy looks on their faces. This mysterious Een Ice Crystal was not only useful for warriors with ice martial souls, but also for other warriors. If a martial king or above expert were to use the Dark Een Ice Crystal, not only would it calm their mind, but they could also use it directly to kill their opponent with the Dark Een Chi. However, the Dark Een Ice Crystal was too powerful, and ordinary martial artists did not dare to take it. Li Lingtian's face revealed a hint of excitement. He was excited when he found out that there was a Dark Een Ice Crystal in the auction. He used to have the immemorial ice crystal in his body. Even though it was refined, its power was still extremely powerful. If he could get this mysterious Een Ice Crystal, he believed it would be of great help to his ice system martial spirit. This was also the reason why he stayed. 1 million. 2 million low-grade spirit stones. 250 low-grade spirit stones. The moment Sima Ling finished speaking, the martial arts grandmaster experts below immediately raised the price. The price was heaven-defying. The warriors who had been here earlier looked like they were poor, but now that the ice crystals had appeared, all of them went crazy. 5 million low-grade spirit stones. 8 million low-grade spirit stones. After the bid reached 5 million, there were only 6 martial arts grandmasters competing. Only martial arts grandmasters had such powerful assets. Otherwise, who could take out a few million? In this world, there was no second Li Lingtian. Unless it was those super heaven-defying sect disciples, no one dared to compare to Li Lingtian. 15 million. Li Lingtian whispered to Ling Yao. It was not convenient for him to bid as Ling Yao was a member of the auction house. It would not be easy for others to find out who had obtained the ice crystal. 15 million. Ling Yao looked at Li Lingtian in shock. She did not even dare to think of such a sum. 15 million, this was 15 million, not 1,500 spiritual stones. Even 1,500 spirit stones was not something she could afford. Her annual benefits were only 200 spirit stones. 15 million low-grade spirit stones. After receiving Li Lingtian's nod, Ling Yao numbly shouted out the shocking figure of 15 million. Instantly, the auction hall fell silent. There was not the slightest sound. All the martial artists were stunned. 15,000. 10,000. 15 million. This was a thunderbolt, a shocking bomb. It directly shocked these martial artists until they were charred on the outside and tender on the inside. 15 million, the price immediately doubled. Even a super sect might not be able to easily fork out 15 million. He did not expect someone to offer such a heaven-defying price. It's that person again. The person who used 4 million to take out a third-grade pill formula. Speechless, shocked, numb. Everyone was not used to it. Comparing people was infuriating. They were rushing around for thousands of spirit stones, but the other party had offered millions, and now 15 million. *CK, are spirit stones soil? Are they that worthless? Everyone had this thought in their hearts, but they did not dare to say it out loud. If others could take out so many spirit stones, they could casually use spirit stones to smash you to death. 15 million low-grade spirit stones. Anyone else? 15 million low-grade spirit stones going once. 15 million low-grade spirit stones going twice. 15 million low-grade spirit stones going thrice. Congratulations to guest number 8 for obtaining the profound ice crystal. Sima Ling waited for a minute and no one else raised the bid. He slammed the hammer down. 15 million spirit stones. This was the first time it had reached such a high price and he was extremely excited. Following that, a young lady carried a jade tray and placed the dark ice crystal in front of Li Lingtian. Li Lingtian glanced at the brocade box and found that the chilling aura within it was enough to make him shiver. With his experience with the immemorial ice crystal, he could naturally tell that this profound ice crystal was not fake. He put away the ice crystal and handed 15 million spirit stones to the girl. The transaction was successful, and the girl left. This is for you. It depends on your luck. After Li Lingtian finished speaking, he released his divine consciousness and quickly entered the divine dragon ring. He then handed a storage pouch to Ling Yao before he stood up and left the private room. Now that the deal was done, it was time to leave. This maid was not bad. She was definitely a beautiful girl. More importantly, she had a wood-type martial soul and was very talented. Thank you, young master. Ling Yao was stunned, and she was instantly incomparably happy. It was normal to receive a reward. This youth was mysterious and powerful, making people feel extremely ambiguous. However, by the time she could react and thank him, Li Lingtian had already disappeared. Li Lingtian left the auction house immediately. As a VIP, he had more freedom to leave and no one dared to stop him. After leaving the auction house, Li Lingtian's body flashed as he flew out of the city at high speed. It was already late at night and there was no one on the streets. The closing of the city gate was a sign of the heavens for the average person. However, it was nothing to a warrior like Li Lingtian. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. A spirit weapon longsword was unleashed and it quickly tore through the air. Those below the martial arts grandmaster level could not fly in the air. They could only use the power of a spirit weapon and the true chi of a martial artist to fly in the air. Li Lingtian smiled bitterly in his heart. Although he was mentally prepared and had left the auction house, there were still a few people who had their eyes on him. In his divine sense, 3 martial arts grandmasters and 6 martial king realm experts had locked onto him. Although he had not left the city, he was locked onto by the divine sense. No matter how fast he flew, he could not escape the divine sense of a martial arts grandmaster or martial king realm expert. Unless he fled a few hundred miles away in an instant, he would be locked onto by the divine sense. Moreover, the speed of a martial arts grandmaster flying in the air was much faster than his flying artifact. In the middle of the night, Li Lingtian flew on his weapon with a calm expression on his face. In the blink of an eye, he was already 100 miles away from Nantian City. By the time he was 100 miles away, a few figures had already left Nantian City. He was now a Tier 8 warrior spirit, and his divine consciousness had reached a distance of 100 miles. Even the divine consciousness of a peak Tier 9 warrior king would not be his match. You want to find trouble with this young master? Let's see how many lives you have left. Li Lingtian muttered to himself as he accelerated his flight. Among the 3 martial arts grandmasters, he had seen 2 of them before and the last one was probably here for the dark ice crystal or the pill formula. As for the other martial kings, they probably wanted to kill him for his treasures after seeing his wealth. In this world, killing and snatching treasures was a normal thing, but it also depended on the person. Chapter 77, Killing and Stealing Treasures. Chapter 77, Killing and Stealing Treasures. A group of people flew across the sky quickly. The protective shield of a martial arts grandmaster and the flying device of a martial king carried a faint fluorescent light as they streaked across the silent night sky like meteors. Li Lingtian's expression did not change at all. There was no one else who could remain as calm as him when facing 3 powerful martial arts grandmasters and 6 martial kings. Brother Zhao, do you think that warrior spirit disciple still has the IOO-year-old purple jade fruit? Sun Haoran said softly. His body floated in the air and his speed was extremely fast. He was far ahead of the 6 martial king realm experts. Brother Sun, you already know. Why are you asking me? That warrior spirit disciple took out 3 10,000-year-old purple jade fruits at once. One won't believe that he doesn't have any more purple jade fruits. Zhao Shihao glanced at Sun Haoran, who was not far away from him, as he spoke indifferently. The two of them had seen the purple jade fruit in Li Lingtian's hands before. Their cultivation was only a Tier 2 martial arts grandmaster. They knew their limits when competing with other martial arts grandmasters for the purple jade fruit. Hence, they could only target Li Lingtian. Brother Zhao, what purple jade fruit are you talking about? Could it be a 10,000-year-old purple jade fruit? Zhou Wujuan was also a rank 2 martial arts grandmaster. Although the 2 martial arts grandmasters spoke softly, they could hear it clearly. When they heard the purple jade fruit, their hearts trembled and they instantly became excited. There's no harm in telling you. This kid should still have 10,000-year purple jade fruits on him. Previously, during the free trade in the auction house, he took out 3 10,000-year purple jade fruits and exchanged them for quite a number of treasures. Zhao Shihao did not hide anything. Since they were going to deal with Li Lingtian, killing a warrior spirit disciple was as easy as killing an ant. There would definitely be a dispute over the distribution of the treasures. Instead of doing this, it would be better for the 3 of them to join forces. If that warrior spirit junior was a genius disciple of a super sect, they could also drag one person into the water and bear the consequences together. It really is a 10,000-year-old purple jade fruit. I'm really lucky this time. When the time comes, one only need 1 purple jade fruit. Zhou Wujuan's face immediately bloomed with smiles. The 10,000-year purple jade fruit could increase the cultivation of a martial arts grandmaster by 1 realm. It was his luck to have encountered such a treasure. Alright, it's settled. If there are 3 purple jade fruits, the 3 of us will each get 1. If there are only 2, it will depend on our own abilities. As for the rest of the wealth, we can split it equally. Sun Haoran said. It was impossible for this kid to say that they were the ones who discovered him. This was because this warrior spirit's disciples' moves were too shocking. He could casually take out 10 million spirit stones. His net worth was definitely not simple. Alright, that's it. The 3 of them nodded in agreement. They would kill Li Lingtian and split the treasures. The other 6 martial kings were also extremely shocked. A 10,000-year-old treasure was definitely a priceless treasure. Even if they could not obtain it, they could at least experience it. Perhaps when the 3 martial arts grandmasters fought, they could take the opportunity to take advantage of it. The 9 figures flew into the distance at high speed while their divine perception locked onto Li Lingtian. This place was too close to Southern Sky City. Faced with the warrior spirit disciple who had a powerful backer nearby, they dared not make a move rashly. Half an hour later, Li Lingtian had flown 1,000 miles and arrived at a remote and desolate area outside Southern Sky City. Below him was a huge river and there was not a single sound in the surroundings. Hee, you really are courting death. Sun Haoran looked in the direction Li Lingtian was flying in as he spoke softly. His divine perception scanned the surroundings but he could not detect any presence. There was not even a wild beast, let alone a powerhouse. Such a remote place was a good place to kill and steal treasures. The other two martial arts grandmasters and a few martial kings also smiled. Brat, it's time to stop. Do you want me to make a move? Zhao Shihao shouted loudly. This place was remote and uninhabited, so he naturally had nothing to fear. Hee hee, you really are courting death. This young master doesn't want to fight. If you want to blame someone, blame yourselves for being too greedy. You shouldn't have provoked this young master. Li Lingtian's body hovered above the flying sword as he turned around to look at the 9 figures 100 miles away. With a faint smile on his face, he looked calm and composed. His calm expression made one feel stifled. Ah, you're really obedient. It seems like you're still afraid of death. As long as you hand over your bag of holding, I can give you a quick death. Sun Haoran and the rest were stunned. They did not expect Li Lingtian to stop so obediently. They scanned Li Lingtian's surroundings with their divine perception and were relieved to see nothing amiss. However, he felt that something was amiss. He did not know what was amiss. He thought about how he was a martial arts grandmaster powerhouse, and there were 2 other martial arts grandmasters and 6 martial kings. It would be easier for him to deal with a warrior spirit disciple than crushing an ant. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. The sound of air being torn apart was heard as 9 faint halos stopped 100 meters away from Li Lingtian. The 9 powerful auras crushed Li Lingtian as if they were showing off their powerful cultivation. In the air, 9 powerful auras tore through the air. They looked at Li Lingtian as if he was a dead man. The 9 super powerhouses could already imagine Li Lingtian begging for mercy in front of them. Against 3 martial grandmasters and 6 martial kings, no matter how powerful a warrior spirit disciple was, he could only despair. However, they did not expect Li Lingtian's words to stun them. Their expressions turned extremely ugly and they nearly lost their temper. A few pieces of trash trying to get their hands on this young master. This place is a treasure land with good feng shui that this young master has chosen for you. Not bad, right? There was a faint smile on Li Lingtian's face as he looked at the 9 powerful warriors provocatively. His eyes were filled with disdain. They had never expected such a thing to happen to them. They had been despised by a trashy warrior spirit disciple. Damn it, is my hearing not good, or is this little bastard crazy? Brat, today I'll let you have a taste of a life worse than death. If I didn't pull out my tendons and skin him alive, I wouldn't be Sun Haoran. The 3 martial arts grandmasters immediately started cursing. They did not have the demeanor of a martial arts grandmaster powerhouse at all. The few martial kings were stunned. However, they were really unhappy when they thought about being insulted by a warrior spirit disciple. Are these 3 old fogies only capable of this? Looks like you guys are being bullied elsewhere, so you want to show your presence in front of this young master. Damn it, is there such a good thing? Li Lingtian snorted and gave a contemptuous look. He did not treat the 3 martial arts grandmasters as humans at all. If he wanted to kill someone and steal their treasure, he had to see who the other party was. In the past, he had killed many people and stolen many treasures. He thought that warrior spirit disciples were easy to bully. Today, he would let them know the taste of death. The few of you, drag him over. Each of you will be rewarded with 1,000,000 spirit stones. Zhao Shihao was furious. He turned his eyes and looked at the 6 martial king experts beside him. They were all rank 6 or 7 martial kings. Since they were here, they should not waste their time. Moreover, this warrior spirit's disciple did not look like a lunatic. Furthermore, he had casually taken out 3 10,000-year-old purple jade fruits. He definitely had some tricks up his sleeves. He would not suffer any losses even if he used a few martial kings as cannon fodder. Leave it to us. When the martial kings heard this, their faces immediately revealed excitement. 1,000,000 spiritual stones was a shocking figure even for martial kings. However, they did not sense anything amiss. With a flash, they dashed toward Li Lingtian at high speed. The 6 of them were fighting to be the first, worried that they would not be able to get the spiritual stones if they fell behind. When facing a warrior spirit disciple, he would suppress him with his pressure and aura. Naturally, he would not use any treasures or skills. This would show the difference between a warrior king and a warrior spirit. Boom! Boom! The 6 warrior kings unleashed their overwhelming pressure and the space was torn apart. Zhao Shihao had ordered them to capture Li Lingtian, but he did not dare to kill him. If anything were to happen, he would be in deep trouble. Chapter 78, The Power of the Startling Heavenly Thunder. Chapter 78, The Power of the Startling Heavenly Thunder. What puzzled the 6 martial kings and martial arts grandmasters was that the young man in front of them did not move at all in the face of 6 martial kings. His expression was extremely calm. However, the few of them soon noticed a hint of a sinister smile on Li Lingtian's calm face. The 6 martial king powerhouses felt that something was amiss with his smile, but they could not think of anything. It was then that Li Lingtian spoke. "Trash, try my startling thunder." Li Lingtian extended one hand and flicked his finger. A sparkling pearl flew toward the 6 warrior kings at a speed that was beyond everyone's sight. In the blink of an eye, it had arrived before the 6 warrior kings. Not good. Not good, it's the startling thunder. Rumble. The people in the air were all extremely shocked. When the 6 martial kings saw the white bead, it was already too late for them to return. Any knowledgeable martial artist had heard of the sky-shocking thunder. This sky-shocking thunder could be a mystic-class existence, and its power was unparalleled. Even a peak rank 9 martial king would not be able to withstand the power of a heavenly thunder. Moreover, any martial artist could unleash such a heavenly thunder, making it impossible to guard against. With a loud bang, a light shield appeared in front of Li Lingtian and shielded him within. The shocking heavenly lightning exploded, forming a destructive vortex within a radius of 100 meters. The 6 martial king realm experts disappeared, leaving only a bloody curtain. Sun Haran and the other 2 quickly retreated as well. Their bodies were covered in a protective light shield that blocked the aftershock of the startling heavenly thunder. Li Lingtian's ice and fire ring was also in front of them. "Alright, I've dealt with the ants. Let's see how much stronger the 3 of you are than these ants. Don't disappoint me." Li Lingtian's body trembled as he was shocked. The shockwave from the startling heavenly thunder was so powerful that he would have been affected if not for the ice and fire ring. Ever since he met the 9 Yang Saint Lord Soul on Hidden Dragon Island, fused with the 9 Yang Sacred Fire, and refined the immemorial ice crystal, his control over the ice-fire ring had increased. However, he had never known what level of treasure the ice-fire ring was. His cultivation had increased and the power of the ice and fire ring had also become stronger. After some assessment, even a 5th-tier martial king combined with a low-grade profound armament would not be able to break the defense of the ice and fire ring. "Brat, you only have 1 startling heavenly lightning, right? Now that you don't have one, let's see how you die." Zhao Shihao's anger had reached its peak. Fortunately, he had ordered the 6 warrior kings to capture Li Lingtian. If the 3 of them had gone forward, they would have been injured even if they were not killed by the startling heavenly lightning. If word got out that he was injured by a warrior spirit disciple, it would not sound good. He could forget about surviving in Eastern Spirit Greenland. The 3 martial arts grandmasters' auras and pressure burst forth from their bodies. Within 1,000 meters in the air, the pressure of the 3 martial arts grandmasters was earth-shattering. Even martial arts grandmasters of the same rank would not dare to resist the pressure of the 3 martial arts grandmasters, let alone warrior spirit disciples. Li Lingtian's expression changed drastically. The pressure of a martial arts grandmaster was not to be underestimated. It was impossible for him to match it with his aura alone. "Who do you think you are? You're just 3 pieces of trash. Don't cry when the time comes." Li Lingtian calmed himself down and activated the Heaven and Earth reincarnation technique. The true dragon body barrier was activated and the dragon energy circulated in his body. The powerful dragon energy quickly protected him and began to resist the pressure of the three martial arts grandmasters. Chi. Eh. What happened? Ignore the pressure of a Wu zone. Beside Li Lingtian was a protective shield. It was similar to the magic shield in the game in his previous life, except that the shield was very faint, like a fluorescent light. However, when the three martial arts grandmaster powerhouses' pressure reached Li Lingtian's protective shield, it was actually blocked. Moreover, the protective shield continued to consume their pressure. Sun Haoran, Zhao Shihao, and Zhou Wujuan cried out in shock. They did not even dare to think about such a thing. Their own pressure was shocking. Warriors below the martial arts grandmaster realm were suppressed by their pressure. However, their pressure was useless in front of this warrior spirit disciple. On the contrary, this warrior spirit disciple's protective shield was still devouring their pressure. Not good. This is the legendary dragon energy, the energy of the Azure Dragon. Sun Haoran was the most knowledgeable and immediately understood that the youth in front of him was actually using dragon energy. The power of dragon energy was shocking and completely ignored the pressure of martial artists. CC. The three shocking auras quickly retreated, no longer daring to use their auras to deal with the youth in front of them. In the past, the pressure of a martial grandmaster suppressed a martial king or a warrior spirit. It was a satisfying experience. He did not expect to be in such a sorry state in front of this warrior spirit disciple. I said you guys are trash, and you guys still don't believe me. If you kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times, one might be in a good mood and give you a complete corpse. Otherwise. Li Lingtian's face was filled with satisfaction. The strength of his dragon energy was beyond his imagination. His cultivation was still too low. Otherwise, he would have crushed the 3 martial arts grandmasters to death with his dragon energy. Otherwise, one will kill you. Brother Sun, Brother Zhao, the 3 of us will attack together and kill him. We don't want any more trouble. Zhou Wujuan also felt that something was wrong. The killing intent in his heart reached an extreme. He looked at his 2 companions and said loudly. Immediately, he waved his hand and a peerless profound level weapon was displayed. Tyrannosaurus Spear. Without waiting for Zhao Shihao and Sun Haoran's reply, he unleashed the supreme-grade celestial weapon, the Tyrannosaurus Spear. A huge silver spear was hurled at Li Lingtian. It was as if a Tyrannosaurus was swooping down from the sky. His momentum was like a rainbow and he was peerless. A martial arts grandmaster's display of a supreme-grade profound armament was indeed overbearing. Li Lingtian's heart skipped a beat. Although this martial arts grandmaster was not as powerful as perfected Tian Shao, his attack was still extremely powerful. I'll leave it to you. Li Lingtian glanced sideways at the Tyrannosaurus spear that was falling from the sky and spoke indifferently as if he was talking to himself. However, at this moment, the air trembled and a snow-white rabbit appeared. The 3 martial arts grandmasters were stunned. Then, they revealed a disdainful smile on their faces. Their smiles did not last long before their expressions changed drastically. Dragon. F***CK, what's going on? A level 3/4 dragon. Whitey looked disdainfully at the Tyrannosaurus spear in the air. Its body suddenly expanded and turned into a 5-meter-long 3-colored dragon in an instant. Its aura was mighty and domineering. Roar! A dragon's roar reverberated through the sky. Following that, its huge claws slapped fiercely at the Tyrannosaurus spear in the sky. The majesty of a dragon could not be underestimated. With one strike, the attack of the supreme-grade profound weapon Tyrannosaurus spear was immediately scattered. Brother Zhao and Brother Sun, a level 4, level 3 dragon. Are the 2 of you still going to watch the show? Zhou Wujuan's heart trembled when his attack was broken. A 4th-tier level 3 demonic beast was equivalent to a 3rd-tier martial arts grandmaster. Furthermore, demonic beasts were naturally powerful. How could a 2nd-tier martial arts grandmaster dare to fight a 4th-tier 3-colored dragon alone? Alright, the 3 of us will join forces to kill this 3-colored dragon. Then, Well, deal with this bastard. Zhao Shihao and Sun Haran also understood the situation before them. If they did not join forces, it would be difficult for them to escape when Zhou Wujuan was killed. Moreover, this young man in front of them had shocking wealth, so they were unwilling to give up just like that. Chapter 79, Chapter 79, Jade-Eyed Beast. Chapter 79, Jade-Eyed Beast. Bright moon blade, slash. Dazzling gold chains, trap me. Sun Haran and Zhao Shihao attacked at the same time. The three of them joined forces and wanted to kill Little White. In the air, the three martial arts grandmasters' shocking auras and Little White's violent dragon energy tore through the air. Li Lingtian was envious of them. This was what a powerhouse was like. If he were to become a martial arts grandmaster, he would be able to shake the world with one hand. 3 against 1. There's no such thing in this world. 1 against 1 is even better. Li Lingtian said calmly. His words stunned the three martial arts grandmasters. Could it be that this kid still wanted to join the battle? However, he understood what happened next. His expression became extremely terrified and he could not help but curse. F***ck, this is cheating. Little bastard, this isn't fair. Damn, this is a 4th tier 4th level multicolored beast, a 4th tier 7th level jade-eyed beast. The air trembled as a tall and mighty multicolored beast pounced fiercely at Sun Haran. Its speed was so fast that it was beyond the sight of a martial artist. The multicolored beast could not fly, so it could only rely on its strength to leap in the air. As the multicolored beast appeared, an even more terrifying aura burst forth. It was a tier 4 level 7 jade-eyed beast. It was the most powerful demonic beast that Li Lingtian and Little White had subdued together. The blue-eyed beast was a 4th grade, 7th grade beast that could float in the air. However, it did not stop at this time and attacked Zhao Shihao directly. Instantly, the three martial arts grandmasters were filled with fear. You guys have fun with them. I'll take a rest first. Li Lingtian could feel the overwhelming pressure. He retreated dozens of meters in a flash and watched the three martial arts grandmasters battling the three powerful mystical beasts from afar. He said indifferently with a smile on his face, as if he was watching a show. Seeing this scene, the three martial arts grandmasters felt like dying. How did this kid have such a powerful demonic beast? Any one of them was enough to make them suffer. Now that there were three powerful demonic beasts, even if they escaped, their chances were extremely small. Boom! 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 Explosions continued in the air. Martial arts grandmasters were naturally extremely powerful. Being attacked by three powerful demonic beasts, they were passively beaten up. It was difficult to get off when they encountered such a thing. Little White, the multicolored beast, and the jade-eyed beast were instructed by Li Lingtian to play with the three martial arts grandmasters instead of killing them all at once. The three mystical beasts suppressed the three martial arts grandmasters but did not kill them all at once. Sir, stop while you're ahead. Take back your demonic beast and let this matter rest. We'll go our separate ways. Beads of sweat trickled down Sun Haran's face. Being attacked by the multicolored beast was like being toyed with by the other party. His true essence was being consumed extremely quickly. If the demonic beast continued like this, it would either be killed or exhausted to death. He quickly shouted at Li Lingtian, who was standing far away. He was really helpless. Three martial arts grandmasters had bullied a trashy warrior spirit disciple and now, they were being played like a monkey by this warrior spirit disciple. He dared not voice out his anger. Yes, I am. Let's forget about this matter. It's a misunderstanding. Zhao Shihao and Zhou Wujuan felt even more uncomfortable. Little White's dragon aura and dragon might, as well as the power of a 4th tier, level 7 jade-eyed beast, made them suffer. F***ck, is there such a simple thing in this world? Oh, right, it's indeed a misunderstanding. Otherwise, I wouldn't have let them train with you. You have to thank me. I'm still playing for a while. I'm thirsty. You guys continue playing. I'll eat a fruit first. There was a faint smile on Li Lingtian's face. The three mystical beasts had no intention of stopping. Without Li Lingtian's instructions, they would not stop even if they died in battle. After he finished speaking, a spiritual fruit that was full of spiritual energy appeared out of thin air. It was a fist-sized 100-year-old spiritual fruit. It immediately shocked the three martial arts grandmasters. However, they were attacked by the three demon beasts. They were stunned and suffered a heavy blow. F***CK, who is this person? Three demonic beasts and a IOO-year-old purple jade fruit. Now that I'm thirsty, I'm actually eating a Lu-year-old spiritual fruit. I'm F***ing going to die. Oh my god, what's going on? When the three martial arts grandmasters saw that Li Lingtian had taken the 100-year spiritual fruit to quench his thirst, they were instantly devastated. Thinking about how the three of them were being attacked by the demon beasts here while the other party was actually leisurely eating spiritual fruits and watching the show, he was really F***ing speechless. Forget it, it's not fun. Let's see who among the three of you will finish them off first. After Li Lingtian finished eating the spirit fruit, he spoke indifferently. The three martial arts grandmasters were shocked when they heard his words, but they soon revealed a smile of relief. They had been tortured by the three mystical beasts. It was a fate worse than death. Rumble. Chi-chi. Bang. There was an explosion and 3 rays of blood light scattered. There were no screams. 3 Wuzones died. The first one to be killed was the opponent's jade-eyed beast, followed by Little White, and finally the multicolored beast. Go back and cultivate. This is for you. Li Lingtian threw a light projection at the emerald-eyed beast and multicolored beast with one hand. Following that, the multicolored beast and emerald-eyed beast disappeared into the divine dragon ring. Protect me while I collect their storage pouches. Li Lingtian looked at Little White, who had turned into a snow-white rabbit, and said happily. Then, his body flashed and he quickly flew down. After a short moment of cultivation, the weapons and storage pouches of the 6 warrior kings and 3 martial grandmasters were all returned to his hands. After packing up everything, Li Lingtian carried Little White and flew away quickly on his flying sword. He did not want to stay here for long after the great battle. After flying for a full 5 hours, Li Lingtian appeared in a small town when the sky was turning white. He found an inn and checked in. Although he did not fight in the battle, it was still thrilling. After witnessing the situation of a martial arts grandmaster level battle, the desire for strength in his heart had reached the peak. In the inn, Xiao Bai was guarding the room. He slept peacefully and felt extremely energetic. One wonder if there are any good treasures among these trash. That inner armor should still be there. He took out his bag of holding and went through the bags of the martial kings. These 6 martial kings represented their sects in the auction, so they had quite a lot of spirit stones on hand. There were actually more than 16 million spirit stones. There were also some Tier 2 and Tier 3 pills as well as some materials and skills. However, Li Lingtian did not care about these. Although his current cultivation was not high, his taste was very high. Even the items of a martial king were often regarded as trash. In the auction house, he really did have an inner armor of Sun Haren's. Moreover, it was an inner armor of the supreme grade profound armament level. He wanted to use the inner armor and spirit stones to exchange for the purple jade fruit. Li Lingtian smiled as he opened the storage pouch. There were 21 million spiritual stones, an inner armor, a lot of herbs and some inner cores that were over 500 years old, and a lot of skills. Although they were mystic class, they were still impressive. After half an hour, the inventory was completed. He had killed 6 martial kings and 3 martial grandmasters and obtained 37 million spirit stones, countless medicinal herbs and inner cores, as well as many pills and skills. 3 peerless grade profound level weapons, 7 middle grade profound level weapons and 1 upper grade profound level weapon. More importantly, that inner armor. No wonder. The money from killing and robbing came so quickly. It would be strange if he didn't become a bandit. Li Lingtian looked at the wealth. He had defeated a martial arts grandmaster and martial king in less than 10 minutes and obtained so many spiritual stones and wealth. If this was any other time, he would not have obtained so much wealth. He originally had a net worth of more than 70 million, but he had spent nearly 20 million in the auction house. Now that he had obtained more than 30 million, he had earned more than he had lost. He already had nearly 90 million spiritual stones. Even an ordinary martial emperor might not be able to compare to his wealth. Chapter 80, Meteor Shower, 1. Chapter 80, Meteor Shower, 1. Lai threw all these items into the divine dragon ring and finally took out Sun Haoran's inner armor. He began to refine it. Wearing such a top-grade profound armament inner armor, his defensive power had increased by a level. Heavenly silkworm armor, refine it for me. The inner armor was extremely soft, like a thin veil. It was hard to imagine that it was a peerless profound level weapon. He cast a spell, and then a wisp of blood essence hit the inner armor. Instantly, the inner armor began to become flexible. Faint fluorescent light flickered on the inner armor. Li Lingtian knew that this fluorescent light was probably the defensive power. The inner armor of a supreme-grade profound armament could be blocked by a martial king when he used a supreme-grade profound armament. Good, it suits me perfectly. 20 minutes later, the heavenly silkworm armor was successfully refined. Li Lingtian removed his long robe and wore the heavenly silkworm armor inside. The heavenly silkworm armor protected his upper body like a thin veil. As the saying went, one had to learn how to be beaten before hitting someone, although he would not be beaten now. However, there were countless super experts in this world. He was only a warrior spirit's disciple. It was inevitable that he would be ambushed during a great battle. With this heavenly silkworm armor, he could at least block a portion of the attacks and not be instantly killed. Following that, Li Lingtian refined all 3 supreme spiritual weapons. Although they would not be used as life treasures, they could be used during normal times. Under normal circumstances, as long as he did not encounter a martial arts grandmaster, he would not need to use the Roaring Dragon Battle Halberd. The Azulate Sword could still be used to cast the astounding Heaven Sword technique. At other times, he would also need to use a powerful profound level weapon. Now, he had several powerful skills and treasures in his hands. Generally speaking, he would not be in any danger unless he encountered a heaven-defying martial king or martial arts grandmaster. After resting in the inn for a day, Li Lingtian asked around and found out that this place was tens of thousands of miles away from Sky Dragon Empire's Sky Dragon City. The Sky Dragon City Genius Tournament would be held in 3 months' time. As the representative of Sky Cloud's sect, he could not miss it. After reorganizing for a while, he flew toward Sky Dragon City. After passing by some cities, he would land to rest and shop in the city. The medicinal herbs, spirit weapons, profound level weapons, and skills that he had no use for were all sold. There was no use in keeping them on him. Xianming City was a central city 10,000 miles away from Sky Dragon City. It was also a place where martial artists gathered because Xianming City was close to the sea and not far from the Endless Sea. No matter which era or world it was, the sea area had the most abundant resources. There were countless sea beasts and countless underwater resources in the sea area. The sea area was large and rich in resources. Xianming City was undoubtedly the wealthiest city in Sky Dragon Empire, but it was also the most chaotic city. No matter when, the competition for resources was always the most intense. In Xianming City, the most powerful sects were Heavenly Enlightenment Sect and Sea Sand Sect. There was also the Proclamation Alliance, which dealt in the inner cores of demon beasts and sea beast materials. This alliance was also the existence where all the itinerant cultivators joined forces to resist the Sea Sand Sect and the Heavenly Light Sect. No one could let the Heavenly Light sect and the Sea Sand sect dominate. Martial artists needed cultivation resources. If they did not join forces, they would not be able to survive at all. On this day, Li Lingtian was flying on his flying sword. Feeling the damp air, he looked down and saw an endless sea. There was also a large city by the sea. His body flashed, and he kept his flying sword. He found a remote place to land and finally walked towards the city gate. After flying for a few days, he was a little tired. However, there were still more than 2 months before the Sky Dragon Empire Genius competition. There was no need to rush to Sky Dragon City. Moreover, with his speed, it would only take him 10 days to reach Sky Dragon City. Sir, you need to pay 100 low-grade spirit stones to enter Xianming City. Li Lingtian was stopped by a Tier 3 warrior spirit when he arrived at the city gate. This is the rule of Xianming City. It's your first time here, so you naturally don't know the situation and rules here. Seeing the doubt on Li Lingtian's face, the patrolman explained politely. After all, those who came here were customers and they had to pay 100 lower spiritual stones to enter the city gate. Here, this is for you. Li Lingtian did not say a word but handed over 100 lower spiritual stones. Other cities would require an entrance fee, but this place had many rules despite its small size. His wealth was something that even martial grandmasters and martial emperors could not compare to. Naturally, he would not care about such a small amount of spirit stones. After entering Xianming City, he began to stroll around the city. This was his habit. When he came to an unfamiliar place, he had to first understand that place, at least some places. An hour later, he inquired about the basic situation of Xianming City in a restaurant and then found an inn to settle down. However, generally speaking, they lived in a single courtyard. Although the price was much higher than a single room, it was more convenient for them to cultivate and no one would spy on them. With Little White's protection, he just needed to create a restriction. In the room, Li Lingtian practiced all the skills and cultivation techniques. He was not dissatisfied with his cultivation speed. In just over a year's time, he had advanced from a warrior apprentice to a Tier 8 warrior spirit. This speed was unmatched even in the entire Eastern Spirit Azure continent. This was also because he had transmigrated. If he was a disciple of the Divine Martial Continent, no matter how talented he was, he would only be outstanding. However, he, a warrior spirit, could kill a martial king. He had even killed a martial arts grandmaster before. Now, many of his skills were slowly being eliminated. In the eyes of others, his skills were heaven-defying existences, but in his eyes, they were useless. Because his opponents were getting stronger and stronger, some low-level skills were naturally useless. The Heaven-Astounding Sword technique and the Flaming Divine Fist could be used against ordinary warrior spirits or even warrior kings, but against martial grandmasters, they were courting death. However, his current skills were powerful, and there were quite a few mystic and earth-ranked skills. Moreover, the Ice Vitality Divine Fist and the Heaven-Shattering Earth-Shattering were not simple. Their power was terrifying and suitable for large-scale attacks. With the increase in his cultivation, his skills had also increased, making him even more terrifying. He also had quite a few earth-rank skills. Heaven and Earth Conflagration, Heaven Flipping Seal, and Dominating Heaven Fist. He had mastered quite a few of these 3 earth-rank skills and had already reached the level of great success. Meteor Shower, Advanced Earth-rank Skill. Li Lingtian took out the skill he had obtained from the auction house. He had exchanged it for the 10 Millennium Purple Jade Fruit. It was only because the Warrior Ascendant did not match the attributes of this skill that he would have taken it out. Moreover, the Purple Jade Fruit was heaven-defying. Martial arts grandmaster experts were naturally willing to use this high-level Earth-grade skill to exchange for it. None of the Earth-rank skills were easy to cultivate and comprehend. He could learn the yellow-rank skills as soon as he learned them, and it was the same for the mystic-rank skills. Moreover, he could cultivate them to the extreme. However, Earth-grade skills were all extremely profound existences. He had used a long time to master the heaven and earth conflagration, the dominating heaven fist, and the heaven flipping seal. The higher the level of the skill, the more difficult it was to control. This earth-level meteor shower was even more difficult. In the divine martial continent, not only were skills and cultivation techniques rare, but there was also a serious problem. Skills required a corresponding cultivation base to be able to be used. Usually, it would take a few years to comprehend and cultivate a mystic or earth-ranked skill. However, Li Lingtian only took a few days to master it. Chapter 81, Chapter 81, News of the Infant Carp Beast. Chapter 81, News of the Infant Carp Beast. A yellow tier skill required a warrior's cultivation base, and many warrior spirit powerhouses were still cultivating yellow tier skills and techniques. Only warrior spirits could control a mystic level skill cultivation method. There were also a few geniuses who could control mystic level skills when they were still warriors. As for earth rank skills, only martial kings could use them. Moreover, earth rank skills were all the treasures of a sect. Not to mention martial kings, even martial grandmasters did not necessarily have earth rank skills to cultivate. Earth rank skills were only cultivated by a very small number of martial kings and martial grandmasters. They were priceless. For example, Li Lingtian's warrior spirit possessed a few earth-ranked skills. It was already heaven-defying among heaven-defying skills. Furthermore, he had mastered a few earth-ranked skills. This skill is useful to me. He looked at the jade slip and sent his divine sense into it. He was shocked by the description of the skill in the jade slip. Meteor shower was a large-scale attack. After cultivating it to the extreme, it was no different from the 1,000 miles of ice. With a single attack, a rain of fire instantly filled the sky within 1,000 miles. The power was shocking, and no martial artist of the same cultivation level could stop it. If one confused the meteor shower with the heaven and earth annihilation, Li Lingtian was extremely excited when he thought of the heaven and earth conflagration, which was also an earth tier skill. If he could combine these two skills, one focused on the ground and the other focused on the air, the power would surely be earth-shattering. Gradually, his entire being was immersed in his comprehension. An earth-tier advanced skill was the most powerful existence in Eastern Spirit Azure continent. Even in some large clans and super sects, only martial ancestor-level elders had earth-tier skills to cultivate. Time passed day by day. Li Lingtian stayed in the room for 5 days. During these 5 days, he was constantly comprehending the meteor shower. On this day, Li Lingtian opened his eyes. His expression was calm and emotionless. There was no change in his expression at all. Meteor shower is not something that one can cast. A high-level earth rank can only be controlled by a martial king. Li Lingtian muttered to himself. He had finally figured it out over the past few days, but he could not unleash it. Even if he were to forcefully unleash it, its power would be greatly reduced. The power it displayed was not even as strong as a high-level mystic skill. Instead of that, it would be better to use a low or intermediate-level earth skill. He was a smart person. Although he wanted to increase his strength, he understood that he could not bite off more than he could chew. Since he couldn't cultivate the advanced earth-level meteor shower, he would give up for now and cultivate it when he reached the martial king realm. Moreover, he already had a few powerful skills now. Coupled with the power of a supreme-grade profound armament, ordinary martial kings were not his match at all. After tidying up a little, he left the inn and walked towards the main street. Xianming City mainly traded sea resources, but there were all kinds of inner core materials here. Since he had come to this place, he would not miss it easily. He had spirit stones. If he found good materials, he could also accept them. Lin and Hall. The largest trading shops in Xianming City included materials, medicinal herbs, pills, weapons, skills, and various items needed by martial artists. The first thing Li Lingtian did when he arrived was to get to know the major forces here so that he would not get into unnecessary trouble. Sir, welcome to Lin and Hall. Linen Hall is one of the most complete shops in Xianming City. As soon as he arrived at Linen Hall's entrance, a young man in his 20s greeted him with a polite expression. He introduced Linen Hall's strength to Li Lingtian as he welcomed him in skillfully. Most complete. Do you have a grade 5 Niden? Li Lingtian stood in front of the coffee table and looked at the waiter with a smile in his eyes. It was as if he was teasing the young waiter. Didn't they say that Lin and Hall had the most complete set of items? If he were to randomly mention one, it would be self-defeating if he did not have any. After he finished speaking, the young shop assistant's expression changed. Tier 5 infant carp beast inner core, wasn't this tearing down the stage? 5th rank demonic beasts were equivalent to the existence of a martial emperor. Even a martial emperor would not dare to provoke a 5th rank demonic beast easily. Moreover, this infant carp beast was one of the strongest demonic beasts among the 5th rank demonic beasts. More importantly, a Tier 5 infant carp beast was considered extremely rare among Tier 5 beasts. Wanting to find an infant carp beast was even more difficult than killing it. This, you must be joking. A 5th grade infant carp beast is extremely rare. Not to mention an inner core, even finding one is as difficult as ascending to the heavens, unless. The expression on the young shop assistant's face was unsightly. The youth in front of him was only about 15 or 16 years old, yet he was asking for a 5th-tier infant carp beast's inner core. Wasn't this a joke? Even if he had a Tier 5 inner core, it was useless for him to take it. However, he recalled that a few days ago, he had unintentionally received news of the infant carp beast. However, no one dared to kill the infant carp beast, and it just so happened to be a grade 5 infant carp beast. At this point, he knew that it was inappropriate, so he quickly shut up and did not continue to speak, lest he let it slip again. Unless what? Naturally, Li Lingtian had heard everything clearly. The young man must have some information on the infant carp beast's whereabouts. Although he wanted to obtain the infant carp beast's inner core, he did not have the strength to kill it now. Nonetheless, it was good that he had information. It would not be too late to kill it when he became stronger in the future. After killing 3 martial arts grandmasters a while ago, he actually obtained a pill formula from their storage bags. Tier 4 pill formula, Heavenly Fey pill. This pill formula was not of much use to him, but it had heaven-defying benefits for demon beasts. Demon beasts usually breathed out the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to cultivate, and it was as difficult as ascending to the heavens to advance. However, there were also many powerful and heaven-defying demon beasts. After reaching the 7th rank, they would transform into human form and learn how to refine pills and cultivate from humans. However, it was extremely difficult to reach the 7th rank. Similarly, in order to increase the cultivation of their pets and combat partners, humans had also developed pill formulas. They relied on powerful pills to increase the cultivation of demon beasts. This 4th grade Heavenly Yao pill was the best one to increase the cultivation of demon beasts. Although it was only 4th grade, as long as the materials and alchemy skills improved, the quality and grade of this medicinal pill could also increase, turning the rotten into the miraculous. When he got the pill formula, he was excited. Whitey, the multicolored beast, and the jade-eyed beast had consumed human pills, and their cultivation speed had increased a lot. However, the power of human pills was still too small, and there was not much effect at all. If he could refine a 4th grade heavenly monster pill, Little White, the multicolored beast, and the jade-eyed beast would be able to quickly increase their cultivation levels. The prerequisite was to find the inner core of a demon beast as the material. The infant carp beast was one of them. However, the 4th grade heavenly demon pill did not require the inner core of a 5th grade infant carp beast. All he needed was a Tier 3 infant carp beast's inner core. The inner core was only one of the main ingredients. The rest of the ingredients were already stored in Li Lingtian's divine dragon ring. Now, the only thing he needed was the Niden of the infant carp beast. As long as he had the Niden of a Tier 3 infant carp beast, he could start refining Tier 4 Heavenly Yao pills. Moreover, after a period of time, it would be time to refine Tier 3 Void Spirit pills. He was already a Tier 8 warrior spirit, so there was no obvious effect when he used a Tier 2 spirit binding pill. A Tier 2 spirit binding pill was also of peerless quality, which was why he was able to refine it. Chapter 82, The Old Man in Black. Chapter 82, The Old Man in Black. He came to Lin and Hall to ask for the inner core of a 5th-tier infant carp beast and was just joking. But if there really was this inner core, he would buy it. He did not expect to really encounter news of the infant carp beast. Such luck was indeed rare. Sir, to be honest, some time ago, I heard that the Square issued a mission to collect the inner core of a 5th-grade infant carp beast. Moreover, the person who issued this news even told me the location of the infant carp beast. There are already many people heading there. The person who issued the mission offered 10 million low-grade spirit stones for a Tier 5 infant carp beast's inner core. Countless people accepted the mission. Although a Tier 5 demonic beast is powerful, there are still countless martial king and martial spirit disciples who went. I even heard that there were martial grandmasters who went. The young shop assistant revealed the news of the infant carp beast. This was also an open secret, so there was nothing to hide. Moreover, they would know once they went to the Square. It was just that this youth was still too young. He could not see his cultivation clearly. At most, he was a warrior spirit. If a warrior spirit youth went, he would only be courting death. I understand. This is for you. Li Lingtian stood up. Since there was such a piece of news in the plaza, it was only natural for him to step in if possible. After saying that, he threw a storage bag at the young shop assistant. He didn't want others to take advantage of him, but he wouldn't easily take advantage of others unless it was a huge benefit. He didn't want to take such a small advantage. Thank you, sir. The young shop assistant was taken aback. He bowed respectfully and thanked Li Lingtian as he watched Li Lingtian walk out. He scanned his storage pouch with his divine perception and found 100 spiritual stones. For a warrior like him, 100 spiritual stones was already a lot. However, he suddenly thought of something and was hesitant to speak. It was only when he saw Li Lingtian about to walk out of Lin and Hall that he called out to Li Lingtian. Sir, if you want to hunt infant carp beasts, it's best to form a team. Moreover, without an expert who is familiar with the sea area to lead the way, you won't be able to find the infant carp beasts at all. Li Lingtian stopped and turned to look at the young waiter. Are you familiar with the sea? There are also people from Lin and Hall who want to go to the sea area, but they are not strong enough. After waiting for a few days, they gathered a few good masters and planned to go to the sea area tomorrow. When the young waiter saw Li Lingtian turn around, he told him all the information as a form of repayment for Li Lingtian's tip. Oh. Li Lingtian nodded and appeared to be deep in thought. He was puzzled. When he was searching for the infant carp beast's inner core, someone had issued a mission for it. Could it be that the infant carp beast's inner core was so popular? Sir, you are also going. I can introduce you to the martial uncles above. When the time comes, you can also go with them. The young man looked at Li Lingtian. If Li Lingtian joined the team, he would be able to get a lot of tips. Tomorrow, right? Count me in. 1 foot 11 inches be here on time tomorrow morning. Li Lingtian's face cracked into a smile. Since he had nothing to do, it was not a bad idea for him to go out and broaden his horizons. Since there was someone to team up with, why not? Lin and Hall even invited a warrior spirit disciple like him. He believed that they did not have many powerful experts. They would definitely use people like him as cannon fodder. After he finished speaking, he turned around and left Lin and Hall, leaving the young waiter with a dull face. He immediately reacted and walked towards the small door behind with a happy smile on his face. The young waiter passed through a few corridors and finally arrived at a courtyard. Disciple Xiao Tian requests an audience with Elder. The young waiter, Xiao Tian, shouted at a room in the courtyard with a respectful expression. What is it? After a long time, a faint voice sounded. The voice was impatient, and it made Xiao Tian feel a chill outside. His face showed fear. I found a warrior who's going to kill the infant carp beast. I'll go with you tomorrow morning. Xiao Tian told him about Li Lingtian. He knew that if the elder was not interested in something, he would be dead for sure. You may leave. A faint voice rang out, and then the room was completely silent. Xiao Tian quickly left the courtyard. He left faster than he came, as if he wished he had 2 more legs. After leaving the courtyard, he felt a trace of relief. After this elder came to the linen hall, he did not have any good days. One didn't expect someone to come knocking on my door. 7 people are enough. In a room in the courtyard, a black-robed elder opened his eyes in a cloud of pitch-black fog. His eyes were blood-red, as if he was about to devour someone. There was no spiritual energy in his entire body. On the contrary, it was filled with terrifying black qi. He was a martial arts grandmaster. Li Lingtian left Lin and Hall and strolled around Xianming City. He collected some sea maps and some daily necessities. He had never entered the sea area before. Although he could fly on a magic tool with his cultivation, he couldn't fly all the time in the vast sea area. Moreover, he always felt uncomfortable in the sea area. He had to prepare in advance to be safe. After strolling on the streets for half a day, he returned to the inn to meditate and rest. He reviewed all kinds of cultivation techniques and skills. On the path of martial arts, it was like sailing a boat against the current. If he did not advance, he would retreat. The next day, Li Lingtian opened the door and walked out of the inn in high spirits with a faint smile on his face. In the backyard of Linen Hall, 6 martial artists were already waiting outside. They had been here for more than an hour, but there was no impatience on their faces. Creak. With a soft sound, the door of the room opened. The 6 cultivators looked towards the room in front of them. Their faces immediately revealed respectful expressions, but they were even more worried. A huge aura rushed over. It was the aura of a martial arts grandmaster. An old man in his 50s walked out of the room. The old man was dressed in black from head to toe, leaving only a pair of eyes and white hair outside. Junior greets senior. The 6 warriors bowed respectfully. Warrior spirits and martial kings were worlds apart from martial grandmasters, so how could they be disrespectful? What about the other one? The black-robed old man's sharp gaze swept across the 6 martial artists. Then, his gaze turned vicious. One person was actually missing. He was a dignified martial arts grandmaster, yet someone dared to make him wait. Senior, the 6 of us have been here the entire time. Lian asked in puzzlement. These few days, only the 6 of them had been here. There was no one else. Could it be that someone had gone to kill the infant carp beast? If it was for the spirit stones, they would not want to cooperate with this terrifying old man. The sea area was filled with dangers. If they were not careful, they would not be able to survive. I'll wait another half an hour. The black-robed old man coldly harumphed. He then closed his eyes and stood there, his aura disappearing. If he hadn't seen this old man with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed that there was a person in front of him. To be able to hide his aura, this kind of terrifying cultivation made several martial artists extremely afraid. Chapter 83, Terrifying Flames. Chapter 83, Terrifying Flames. Li Lingtian arrived at Lin and Hall's shop unhurriedly. When he arrived, the young shop assistant was already waiting for him. Sir, you're finally here. If you wait any longer, the elders will leave. Hurry up and go in. The young shop assistant said anxiously. Although he was not urged by the black-robed old man just now, he clearly felt the elder's anger. If the elder was angry, no one would dare to accept the elder's anger. Lead the way. Li Lingtian had a faint smile on his face the entire time. He followed the young shop assistant to the small door at the back of the shop. After passing through a few corridors, they arrived at a courtyard. What a strange aura! Li Lingtian had sensed a mysterious aura the moment he entered the shop. He had never seen or heard of such an aura before. However, he was sure that this aura was a cultivation technique that humans cultivated. He also knew that if it was not for the dragon energy, he would not be able to sense this aura at all. The deeper they went, the clearer the aura became. When they arrived at the courtyard, they finally realized that the aura came from an old man in black. "Elder, this gentleman has arrived." The young waiter was panicking as he led Li Lingtian into the courtyard. He looked straight at the old man without even looking at him. With the old man's wave of his hand, the young shop assistant hurriedly retreated. He was eager to teleport away from this courtyard. Junior greets senior. Li Lingtian shifted his gaze from the 6 warriors in the courtyard to the old man. Among the 6 warriors, 4 were warrior kings and 2 were tier 9 peak warrior spirits. The black-robed old man's cultivation was indeed a martial arts grandmaster, but the feeling he gave off was somewhat terrifying. This was the first time he had encountered such a feeling. "Okay, you guys get to know each other." The black-robed elder's eyes darted over to Li Lingtian as he concealed the anger in his heart. This warrior spirit disciple was only a tier 8-5 spirit, yet he was the last to arrive. He would be in for it when the time came. Following that, Li Lingtian greeted the other 6 warriors. Among the 6 warriors, 2 warrior spirits greeted Qin Hao and Qin Zhong respectively. The 2 of them were polite when Li Lingtian greeted them. In this group, only the 2 brothers were at the warrior spirit realm. The other martial kings looked down on them. There were 4 martial kings. One of them was called Qian Shifeng, a rank 7 martial king. The other was Luo Qihan, a rank 6 martial king. The other 2 were called Shengguan Chang and Gongsun Lang. They were both rank 4 martial kings. After getting to know each other for a while, the strong reigned supreme. The few warrior kings did not even look at Li Lingtian, the warrior spirit, but Li Lingtian greeted them politely. "Alright, let's go first, in case we're late." The black-robed old man was called Wind Void. He didn't know anything else about him. After seeing the few of them greeting each other, Wind Void said indifferently and then walked towards the door of the backyard. Li Lingtian and the rest could only follow behind. After they left the house, a huge beast cart was waiting outside. Beast carriages were the most commonly seen in the divine martial continent. They were no different from the carriages in his previous life. However, this carriage was pulled by a demonic beast, which was much stronger than the carriages in his previous life. Li Lingtian finally got to see the space inside the beast carriage. It was at least 10 square meters in size and it did not feel cramped at all when 8 people sat inside. No one spoke on the beast carriage. Li Lingtian could only meditate and rest. He did not like talking to strangers and this was exactly what he wanted. The beast carriage was blocked by a layer of mysterious gauze, and divine senses couldn't enter or exit. They couldn't see the outside world, and the outside world couldn't see the situation inside the beast carriage. However, based on his feeling, the beast carriage should have left the city. Moreover, the beast carriage was extremely fast as it sped along the way. Hiss! The demonic beast pulling the carriage screeched and came to a sudden stop. Li Lingtian and the others were also jolted awake. "Alright, get out of the car." The black-clad elder's voice rang out before he stepped down from the beast carriage. Li Lingtian and the rest followed suit and felt a damp aura the moment they stepped out of the beast carriage. The seaside was a boundless sea area, but it was far away from the entrance of Hidden Dragon Island. "Elder, one will send you all here. This subordinate will take his leave first." It was only then that Li Lingtian realized that the driver was a middle-aged tier 7 warrior. He was respectful when he saw the elder in black. "You don't have to go back." The black-robed old man, Wind Void, glanced at the middle-aged man indifferently and said coldly. Suddenly, a shocking aura erupted from his entire body, and a black flame pressed down on the middle-aged man. Instantly, everyone was stunned. They didn't expect Wind Void to be so vicious, even treating his own subordinates like this. The martial artist could not withstand the power of a martial arts grandmaster at all. Under the attack, there was not the slightest scream. The middle-aged martial artist turned into blood and was completely destroyed by the flames. The beast carriage and the demonic beasts were all turned into ashes by the black flames. This move shocked everyone, especially the Martial King realm experts. They finally understood the difference between realms. Such terrifying flames. They're not inferior to the flames of my fire dragon's heart. Li Lingtian was shocked. He was a flaming sacred body and naturally understood the power of flames. This was the first time he had seen such a flame and he had no idea what it was called. He gradually grew wary of Wind Void. Unless it was absolutely necessary, it was best not to go against Wind Void. The few martial kings and martial spirits felt a chill down their spines when they saw how even their own subordinates were mercilessly killed. This subordinate was just unlucky, yet he had found a way to kill them mercilessly. They were not related to each other, and there would be disputes over the treasure. It was likely that when the treasure appeared, they would fall out. Li Lingtian was well aware of the situation, but he did not say it out loud. He maintained a calm expression on his face. We can't let anyone know about this. You guys keep your mouths shut. We're going to the Devil's Sea now. Wind Void saw the changes in their expressions, but he didn't take it to heart at all. After saying that, he took out an exquisite flying ship and cast a spell on it. Instantly, the flying ship expanded and became a huge flying ship. The spaceship was 50 meters long and 10 meters wide. There were also a few rooms on the spaceship. Li Lingtian was shocked to see all of this. Some time ago, when he went to the Endless Sea Dragon Hidden Island, he saw countless people using flying ships. Sky Cloud's sect also had a huge flying ship, but compared to this flying ship, those flying ships were like clouds in earth. Swoosh! Wind Void's body disappeared in a strange manner. When he reappeared, he was already on the flying ship in the sky. The other martial kings and martial spirits also quickly flew up. Since they were already on this pirate ship, they could only wait and see. After boarding the spaceship, Li Lingtian found a room. Although the room was small, it was exquisitely decorated. It was 20 square meters in size, with a wooden bed, a leather sofa, and some daily necessities. Everything was present. Chapter 84, 10,000 Destruction Formation. Chapter 84, 10,000 Destruction Formation. Open. After entering the room, Li Lingtian scanned his surroundings with his divine perception but did not find any surveillance. He then activated a simple restriction and Little White stood guard at the door. With a Tier 4 Little White guarding the door, he would not be in much danger as long as it was not a Tier 7 or Tier 8 warrior ascendant. Even if there was danger, Little White would be able to resist for a while. He was also prepared to fight back, so he wouldn't be caught unprepared. This Wind Void isn't simple. Be careful. Kill anyone with killing intent. Li Lingtian looked at Whitey. At this moment, the situation was unclear, but Wind Void was a martial arts grandmaster powerhouse and he could not be underestimated. More importantly, with his divine sense and experience from 2 lifetimes, Wind Void posed a huge threat to him. Phew! Little White nodded as its ruby-like eyes emitted a sharp glow. It had a friendly contract with Li Lingtian. If Li Lingtian was in danger, it would be hurt as well. Moreover, it had been following Li Lingtian since it was born. Its relationship with Li Lingtian was like a brother. In addition to the friendly contract, the connection between them was deeper than blood relations. At this time, it naturally understood the current situation. The dragon race was born to be the ancestor of all beasts and demons. Their dragon aura was shocking, and their perception of danger was relatively agile. It had yet to reach Tier 7 and could not transform into a human form. Naturally, it could not speak, but it was able to achieve mind unity with Li Lingtian. Heaven and Earth Reincarnation. Heaven Flipping Seal. Heaven and Earth Burning. The heavens and earth will shatter. Dominating Heaven Fist. Ice Vitality Divine Fist. He continued to comprehend and study all kinds of skills and cultivation techniques, constantly improving them. He could not practice all kinds of skills, but he had a clearer understanding of the power and principles of these skills. After he entered the room, he didn't leave. Little White also took 2 elixirs every day. The rest of the time, it would set up the air in the room. As long as there was an external aura, he would be the first to know. Days passed and Li Lingtian stayed in the room for 8 days. On this day, Whitey, who looked lazy, had a sharp glint in its ruby-like eyes. Its eyes were filled with killing intent as it stared at the wooden door quietly. At the same time, he sent a consciousness into Li Lingtian's awareness. Li Lingtian knew that someone had arrived. At other times, if a cultivator's sea of consciousness was disturbed while cultivating, their cultivation would decline at the very least, and they would become an idiot at the very worst. However, since Little White and Li Lingtian had a friendly contract, there was naturally no effect between them. Furthermore, Li Lingtian had lived 2 lives. Coupled with the 9 Yang Saint Lord and the original Li Lingtian's soul, his soul was extremely powerful. It did not affect him at all. Ding ding, ding ding. The sound of the wooden door tinkling sounded like a knock on the door. It was impossible to knock on the door in a place with restrictions. This sound was good. At least it was not a hasty entry. Li Lingtian's expression was calm. With a wave of his hand, the restriction disappeared and the wooden door opened. Brother Li, we've arrived. Qin Zhong, who appeared in Li Lingtian's line of sight, was the only warrior spirit here. Li Lingtian was also a warrior spirit, so naturally, they walked in harmony. The other martial kings weren't even close to them, let alone the terrifying martial arts Grandmaster Wind Void. So it's Brother Qin. I'll go now. Li Lingtian smiled politely before he stood up. Qin Zhong understood Li Lingtian's intention and left after a brief salute. Li Lingtian was lost in thought as he watched Qin Zhong leave. After a full 10 minutes, Li Lingtian left the room with Little White in his arms. After leaving the room, he immediately felt a damp air and a faint smell of seawater. Furthermore, the endless sea breeze continued to ravage the ship. Although the ship had defenses, the strength of the sea breeze was unimaginable. When he came out, the others were already standing outside the spaceship. The 7 of them looked into the distance without saying a word. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Coo, coo. Li Lingtian was shocked by the tearing sea breeze and the shocking waves. This was the might of the heavens. The force of nature in the sea was not something that ordinary warriors and mortals could withstand. In his previous life, he had never been to the sea. In the books, he had only read about the tolerance and power of the sea. However, after seeing it for himself, he understood that the sea in his previous life was like a small stream compared to the vast ocean. Disciple greets senior and everyone. Li Lingtian greeted them after watching for a while. The scene before his eyes was shocking. After he finished speaking, the 4 martial kings and Wind Void glanced over. Martial kings were trash in his eyes, but the gaze of Manager Wu, Wind Void, was incomparably sharp. There's still 1 more day before we reach the Devil's Sea. I'll give you a set of formations now. If you encounter a 5th step infant carp beast, you can use this formation to deal with it. If you face a powerful enemy, you can also use this formation to block them. Wind Void looked at Li Lingtian and did not even take a Tier 8 warrior spirit disciple seriously. He was like an ant on the roadside. However, at this time, he had to use this ant as cannon fodder. Junior and the others will not disappoint Senior. The 7 of them replied respectfully. In a world where the strong were respected, they could only be respectful when facing the strong. Even though Li Lingtian was a little conflicted, he was able to control the situation. This formation is called the formation of 10,000 extinguishers. It's cast with one's own jinchi. There can't be any mistakes. If anything goes wrong, you'll have to bear the consequences. Wind Void said indifferently. His tone was extremely vicious, making the 7 martial artists feel even more threatened. Following that, Li Lingtian and the others began to meditate on the formation of infinite destruction while Wind Void meditated in front of the spaceship. Devil Sea. Li Lingtian was extremely puzzled. Devil Sea was probably a small place in the endless sea, and it was a terrifying place. The flying ship continued to fly at high speed. If it encountered a small storm, it would pass through it. If there was a big storm, it would fly around the storm. During this day, it was so infuriating that it kept practicing the 10,000 destruction formation. Other warriors might not be able to see anything from the formation of 10,000 extinguishers, but Li Lingtian was afraid. This formation was at least at the imperial level, and it was a vicious one at that. A few days ago, Wind Void didn't take out this formation. He only took it out when he reached his destination. There must be something fishy about it. The formation of 10,000 extinguishing was completely different from a normal formation. Li Lingtian could not pinpoint what was different at the moment because each of the 7 of them had cast a part of the formation. Until now, they had not fully unleashed it. This was also Wind Void's idea. Before encountering infant carp beasts or danger, he couldn't use this 10,000 extinguishing formation without his permission. You're tuning into the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.